time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. All eyes on Philadelphia tonight, where the Eagles will unveil their second Super Bowl championship banner in 8 years before kicking off the 2025 NFL season at home versus the Cowboys. Eagles among the favorites to win another Lombardi trophy. 7.5-point favorite tonight per ESPN bet. So how does Dallas spoil the night for its NFC East rivals? Our Harry Douglas.
They're going to have to control a lot of scrimmage on offense and defense. I'll start with the offensive side of the ball. You're going to have to run the ball. But then also you're going to have to take advantage, like we mentioned earlier, of whoever's opposite of Quinyon Mitchell. You're going to have to convert third downs. On the defensive side, if you can get the Philadelphia Eagles multiple times, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9 plus, you have basically won as a defense. Now you just got to close the deal on third down.
Days before the Raiders season opener at New England, receiver Amari Cooper has informed the team he intends to retire. Baseball, Mets calling up right-hander Brandon Sproat to start Sunday against the Reds, along with Nolan McClain and Jonah Tong. Sproat's the third top pitching prospect called up by New York this month to bolster its scuffling starting rotation. The Mets currently holding on to the final NL wildcard spot.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy, coming up Friday as Aaron Rodgers gets ready to take on his former team. I'll tell you why Week 1 is a must-win for Rodgers and the Steelers. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from downtown Baton Rouge.
Let's ride!
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing in Baton Rouge. I'm Matt. Hey, shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Yusuf. And Mr. Toby Tom Blake. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Man, we are loaded up today. ESPN's Bill Connelly in 15 minutes. Our Fantasy Blitz returns later this hour. Matt Belinson from the Ruston Leader talking Louisiana Tech. We've got Lee Sterling's best bets. We've got Louisiana Tech head coach Sonny Cumbie in hour 3. Mike Triplett in hour 3. I told y'all, we are loaded up. Let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
All right, the New Orleans Saints are on the practice field, and we will get the injury report in about an hour, and we're going to be keeping an eye on Chase Young. Now, we knew yesterday that Chase Young was on the injury report, limited with a calf injury. And the initial report was that there was really nothing. It didn't seem like there was anything to fear that he was going to be out there. Well, a short time later, Nick Underhill reported that his tweet, and this was at 5:26 p.m. Wednesday. Nick Underhill tweeted, sounds like this weekend could be at risk day to day. See how it goes. So that was after the initial report that they thought it wasn't expected to be anything too serious. Short time later, let's see. Now, the New Orleans Saints are still on the practice field, but we're going to wait and see what the injury report holds. Because if Chase Young is not practicing today, and from some of the intel that I've gotten, it sounds like maybe he wasn't practicing today. Then you have a real question about his availability for Sunday. Because if you're a DNP late in the week, usually by Friday, you've got to be at least out there moving around for a realistic option, an opportunity to be active on Sunday. And when you talk about Kyler Murray and the athleticism and his ability to hurt you with your feet, you want an athletic edge who you paid $51 million to. I could also go back and say, signed Chase Young. One of the questions was the injury history that he suffered in Washington and then had the neck injury and played very well for New Orleans a year ago. But this is one we're going to have to watch. Again, the injury report will be out next hour, and we'll know definitively what Chase Young's injury report status is as of today, Thursday. But that's one apparently we're going to have to wait and see for the season opener Sunday in the Dome against Arizona. All right, it's after further review. We're glad you're with us. Did we hit the Bud Light Open? We did hit the Bud Light Open. Okay. We are brought to you by Bud Light. Our show open every day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR, the official beer of the New Orleans Saints, and the official beer of the LSU Tigers. Both home teams are at home this weekend. Home opener for LSU, season opener for the New Orleans Saints. You're going to be partying, tailgating. Make sure you're drinking with the delicious ice cold, refreshing taste of Bud Light in the officially licensed LSU cans and 16-ounce aluminum bottles, and the black New Orleans Saints cans as well. If you're going to be at around the Dome, make sure you're drinking easy with the official beer of the Saints and the Tigers, Bud Light, our great friends at Mockler Beverage. Okay. LSU's gearing up for Saturday's game, the home opener in Tiger Stadium against Louisiana Tech. But if we're all being quite candid and honest, LSU's a 37.5-point favorite. No one is expecting this game to be very competitive. This is going to be a great opportunity, I would assume, for a lot of players that we got to watch all throughout fall camp, maybe to make their first real impactful moments of this season. Some guys who maybe didn't play on Saturday, didn't play a big role. Ashton Stamps comes to mind. Chris Hilton, who only had the one catch in the fumble. Feels like a really good opportunity. Harlem Berry to get out there and maybe get a lot more playing time and give some of your regulars a bit of a rest, a bit of a lighter workload before you play Florida next week. Well, this was also an opportunity to talk to some of the transfers who met with reporters on Wednesday night after practice. Mansour Delane among them, and Josh Thompson as well. And I thought it was so interesting listening to both these guys when they were asked why they picked LSU. And admittedly, it's a little bit of an odd question to be asking, a conversation to be having right in the middle of a game week. Why you picked LSU 6 months ago. But at the same time, when you don't have an opportunity to talk to these guys throughout spring or throughout fall camp, this is the first opportunity. And so some of these questions were asked, and it was interesting how similar Thompson and Mansour Delane's answers paralleled each other. Like, this is what Josh Thompson said why he picked LSU.
I had a lot of conversation with Coach Davis and Coach Sloan on the way in, and a lot of the conversations were just surrounded about what the ultimate goal was for this season. And I looked at what they were doing in the offseason. It looked like they were building something really special here. And since I was a kid, it was my dream to win a national championship. And so that opportunity to chase a national championship is everything. And I talked to Nuss. Nuss was a big part of the recruitment process for me, and we became really close in that process, and it was a really exciting opportunity for me.
He said his lifelong goal, is to win a national championship. He didn't say, I wanted to go somewhere where I was going to make a bunch of money and get to the NFL. He said his goal is to win a national championship. Now, the money happened for all these guys. Don't misunderstand. But the point I've made and continue to make that LSU can offer as a differentiator is the opportunity to win a championship when all these guys come together and you supplement at the right spot. Yes, they're all making money. And the money matters. Of course it does. But it's two-pronged. Money and the chance to win. Mansour Delane said effectively the same thing.
I think I seen it when I was in the portal. I'm seeing commitment after commitment. I'm like, oh, this looks like a good little spot for me. And then obviously knowing what was already coming back with Nussmeier and Perk and, kind of knowing these Witt and just these different pieces coming together, I'm like, it just makes no sense for me not to come here. So, and then when I got here, everything lived up to it. The mindset, it's a championship team, and I want to be part of it.
Mindset of a championship team. Mindset of a championship team. I love that from both these guys because it's interesting to me, maybe just from the perspective of someone who goes to a lot of press conferences and listens to a lot of media availability, hears a lot of coach speak, and when you start to see parallels, and so often what you see when there's alignment within an organization or a college program or something is when the players are parroting the coach. When the coach says something a certain way, and then you go into player interviews when the coaches aren't around and the players are saying the same thing and phrasing it the same way. And you hear a lot of those undertones with these players. from what we hear Brian Kelly say. And that's a part of it, like building the championship culture and wanting to win a championship. The going 1-0 piece that everyone is sort of talking about. So I think maybe it just continues to validate this feeling about this transfer portal class, because it's one thing to add talent. It's even greater to add talent at a position of need. Mansour Delane's a great example of that, right? He's a talented player, but he's also a talented player at a position of need. Like LSU needed cornerback help. So you had A.J. Halsey. LSU was very bad at safety. You had a talented player at a position of need. But when you have a talented player at a position of need who's experienced and who's bought into win a championship, that's the part that I think ties all this together. You know, on Monday, Brian Kelly gave a couple of examples when he was talking about a couple of defensive plays where, you know, on the last play of the game where Harold Perkins got the pressure, it was Patrick Payton who ate up a block that allowed Perkins to become a free rusher. On P.J. Woodland's sack on the third play of the game, it was Jack Pyburn who crashed in and created that lane for Woodland. So you hear Brian Kelly say, play your 1/11th, right? Play your 1/11th, meaning do your job. Just the 1 out of the 11, do the one thing you're supposed to do on the play. And you hear a lot of these players in the press conferences talk about doing their 1/11th in these plays. And so I guess what it tells me is the message from the coaches are resonating. It's sinking in with these players. And it's a reason why when you've got talent and depth and experience and culture and buy-in, those are ingredients for something really special. Now, you got to stay healthy, and it's a long season. There's a lot of variables that'll happen along the way, and they haven't faced adversity yet. What happens when you lose a game? I mean, it feels inevitable at some point. Like at some point, this team will probably lose a game. I mean, I think they just won the toughest game on their schedule, but there's plenty of landmines all over. So how do you handle adversity when it comes? Like they handled adversity Saturday at Clemson, South Carolina. Over and over again, they answered the bell when they handled adversity. You know, not getting points at the end of the first half. The Berrien Brown, what we thought was a touchdown taken off the board. The fumble early in the game from Bauer Sharp, which led to LSU's defense came up with a great stop to hold them to 3. Like they handled adversity great in the micro. What about in the macro? Maybe we'll find out. We'll certainly find out at some point this season. But love what you hear from these veteran guys and these transfers and why they're in Baton Rouge. All these guys, Mansour Delane, Josh Thompson, they're going to get their first opportunity. Some 40 players are going to get their first opportunity to suit up in Tiger Stadium on Saturday night. All right, it's After Further Review. Our Thursday shows are brought to you by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing in Baton Rouge. I was visiting with Blasia earlier today. It's really simple what they do. They're concierge nurses. It's not just healthcare, it's healthcare for your lifestyle, whatever you need. Maybe you just got a newborn baby at home. You want to be able to sleep through the night. Bring in one of their concierge nurses throughout the night to take care of the baby while you and your wife sleep, or you and your husband sleep, so you can be more functional, more present throughout the day. Maybe you're caring for an elderly parent, and you need help at home caring for an elderly parent. Decision Critical can help. It's in-home care. It's private duty nursing. It's Decision Critical. It's not just healthcare. It's healthcare for your lifestyle. DecisionCriticalBR.com. DecisionCriticalBR.com. Okay, we're going to knock out our first break. Come back. Bill Connelly, he of ESPN, who created the SP Plus rankings. We're going to talk some college football with Bill Connelly when we come back. He's also got a new book coming out as well. Excited to do that. And our Fantasy Blitz with Darin Tietgen returns in 30 minutes. So start lining up your questions. Email us, tweet us, or text your questions. Personalized fantasy football advice. It's coming up in 30 minutes on AFR.
After further review.
Man, the response to this has been outstanding. I was talking to Darren James just 2 days ago, and they relaunched agent225.com. He's redesigned and reimagined and upgraded and updated agent225.com. It's the most user-friendly website in real estate. Every home listed by every company all in one place, agent225.com, agent225.com. But no matter where you live, if you want an immediate home value appraisal, you can get it like in less than 30 seconds. Agent225.com. On the homepage, you'll see the home value tab. You enter your address, and in a matter of seconds, you'll have your home value appraised right there. So then you can know, okay, well, what's your home worth? What could you sell it for? How much equity do you have in that home? What could you put as a down payment on a new home if you're looking to move? It's easy. It's at agent225.com. Agent225.com. You need to sell your home. You need Darin James.
Think real estate. Think Darin James. We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding, and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
Value Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $22,500 off MSRP on the brand new 2025 Ram 1500 Laramie with $22,500 off MSRP with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient. And you will have your pool in no time.
Mornings with Brian Haldane is the only live and local talk show in the capital city. Get the news from the newsmakers, along with traffic and weather updates throughout the morning. The conversation.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
No Thursday college football game this week with the start of the NFL season. But a gigantic weekend ahead. Always a great time to talk college football with Bill Connelly. He, the creator of the SP Plus rankings and the author of a new book, Forward Progress, the definitive guide to the future of college football. Bill's good enough to join us. Great to have you back, Bill. Thanks for the time. How are you?
I'm pretty good. How about you?
I'm doing awesome. So as if you're not already busy with fans hating you because of your rankings, you decided to go put out a book because you had nothing. You just had so much free time to do, right? What was the genesis behind the idea of the book?
Well, I think just this moment in time with, all these things that we've been arguing about for 60 years suddenly happening and changing and almost kind of getting out of our control a little bit. I thought it was, I just started to realize that I didn't have a vision for where things should go. And I usually do. Even if that vision's not going to happen, I got the vision. And so figured it was kind of worth the time in these last couple off seasons to step back and just, walk through the history of conference realignment, history of arguing about a playoff, history of arguing about paying players, history of why the heck doesn't this sport have actual leadership, all these different things. Just kind of figure out what we can learn from history and what it might tell us about where things are going now.
What did you learn that you didn't already know covering the sport day to day for your 9 to 5?
Well, it was kind of interesting piecing together, the whole thing about not having a commissioner in this sport and not having leadership. It was that chapter was kind of interesting. Just number one, it's always had a leader. It's just that leader has always had self-interest elsewhere, whether it was the NCAA, buyers for 30-something years, basically just trying to control the TV contract and therefore scare everybody into doing what they need, the NCAA wants, all the way through, once the NCAA versus Board of Regents, the famous Supreme Court case in the 80s happened, there was a College Football Association, but it fell apart. And then it was just basically who's the most powerful conference commissioner. He's the leader of the sport, even though he has all these self-interests, all these interests of the schools he's representing. And so there was kind of a power grab, and you see what happens when you end up in a situation where everybody's out for themselves and the one with the most power just builds the power.
Yeah, Bill, your content at ESPN, really, you tell me if I'm wrong on this, but it's analytics-driven analysis is really what you do over at ESPN. And it feels like there isn't really an algorithm that you can create that's going to tell us what the future of college football looks like. So how do you piece together a best guess of where we're headed in college football?
Well, I mean, that's you don't. I for the record, the publisher is the one who said definitive. I never said definitive, guys. The future. No, but it was.
I remind people all the time, Bill, the author does not write the headline.
That's right. Well, but it was kind of interesting. Just we always think we know where things are headed, and we get like a mutated version of it. Like we thought we were going to get 4 perfectly balanced 16-team super conferences, and we got 4 super conferences that are not balanced at all, and 2 are much more powerful, and geography is not part of this thing at all. And so it was this mutated vision, and I think that's still, it makes it hard to project. But I am very curious about 5 or so years from now when television media rights contracts come up. I think that's whatever happens next. It's going to be in that kind of range of time where the ACC is close to the end of its grant of rights, with the Big 12 still, expiring in that same time. I can't decide for sure what I think will happen. I'm not necessarily. I don't think anything wild, Super League-ish is going to happen, but it'll be very interesting to see where the winds blow then.
Bill Connelly's with us on Twitter at ESPN_Bill C. If you want to give him a follow, the book is Forward Progress, the definitive guide to the future of college football. If I asked you to peer into the crystal ball 10 years ahead, do we have those 4 perfectly balanced 16-team super conferences?
I think that ship has sailed. This is a question of what do we have besides the 2 super conferences, and that's where things could get pretty interesting. I do like all the talk of the Super League that we've heard over these last few years, all the private equity ventures that have tried to jump into the sport and figure out how to wring some money from it. It doesn't feel like that's a viable option for the future, simply because Big Ten and SEC would have to agree to it. They have no reason to agree to it. And so they are, without centralized leadership, they're the ones in control, and they already have about 90% of what they want. So really might be a case of the Big Ten adding a couple more schools and the SEC adding a couple more, and then whatever's left of the Big 12 and ACC kind of forming to the best possible conference from that. And I don't know, it'll be interesting, but I don't think the days of a potentially organized top subdivision power conferences of the sport, I think that might have passed.
Man, it'll be fascinating to see. I think that day probably is headed. We're headed for that day. How it organizes will be fascinating. I agree with you completely, but I don't know. In my mind, it feels like there might be a little bit of an inevitability there. But Bill, when you write a book, I always ask this to authors. When you write a book, there's undoubtedly always things that get left on the cutting room floor. It just can't all go in there. What was something that got cut that maybe you wanted to see in there or would have liked to have seen in there?
Well, it was kind of funny taking the whole saga of arguing about paying players and just making it a chapter. It felt like, that's books have already been written about that. Well, if we ever reach some sort of stasis in the future, more books will be written about that. So basically just taking that and making it a 10,000 word chapter felt like it was either about 9,000 words too many or about 90,000 words too short. So yeah, just trying to step back. That was by far the most intimidating chapter. Just trying to step back and figure out what's important enough to mention versus, what can I sacrifice? That was the hardest set of editorial choices because it was a defining battle. And I, one of the things I can say about where things might be headed is nothing should feel impossible about where we're headed, because players are getting paid legally now. And that felt like for a very long time that was never, ever, ever going to happen, that the defenses were never going to get broken down. And they did. So who knows what might the next unachievable thing might be.
I can't wait to get my hand on the book. It was released on Tuesday of this week, right? The 2nd. Yeah. So Forward Progress, the definitive guide to the future of college football. You can order it at Amazon or wherever you get books. He is Bill Connelly. Bill, before I let you go, I'd be remiss if I didn't at least get a thought on what we saw the opening weekend. Of course, you put out the SP Plus rankings, and I always like to look at the rating change or the ranking change after a particular week.
Yeah.
And you had the one biggest drop, obviously, was Alabama. And Alabama and Notre Dame, really. Bama fell 9 spots. Notre Dame fell 11 spots. What do you think your numbers tell us about Alabama and Notre Dame and their possibilities of getting into contention this year?
Well, I think with Notre Dame, like they felt more spots, but everybody's so clustered together in that range that they didn't fall from a points perspective. They didn't fall as much. Alabama, it was Hawaii first and Alabama second. Those were the biggest drops. And with Alabama, it was just so strange how unprepared their defense seemed for facing a Gus Malzahn offense with Tommy Castellanos. We know it felt like there were a bunch of tendencies that both of those people have kind of given away through the years, and they seemed surprised by everything. They went straight at Castellanos. They didn't just try to contain him like defenses started to do last year, and he escaped and he made plays. It was just very confusing. From a number standpoint, like they fell off. They were, ranked. They were rated awfully high in the offseason, obviously in SP+. So they were still very much within range, and they could improve a normal amount and be a national title contender. But, from an eyeballs perspective, I just didn't expect that defense to not seem to know what it was going up against and be surprised by everything. That was kind of alarming, honestly.
We're obviously here on affiliates all throughout Louisiana. People were excited about LSU's win against Clemson. The Tigers up to number 5. They were 10. They're up to number 5 in SP+. What did we learn about the Tigers this weekend?
Well, the defense really was intriguing. I thought, if Weeks and Perkins are both healthy and they got a bunch of new DNs and a brand new secondary, feels like maybe the pieces are right there. And I spent the entire offseason as a Clemson skeptic, not really buying top 10 hype there, or top 5 hype, I should say. But I still thought that, that a Clemson offense would score more than 10 points against an LSU defense. And there was really, even their touchdown drive, they had to convert a couple fourth downs to get it done. So that was just about as good as I could have hoped for the LSU defense to look. And you would assume that the offense will score more points moving forward, and if the defense is for real, like where's the weakness in that team? It should be pretty interesting these next few weeks.
For the record, Clemson dropped 14 spots to number 25 in the SP Plus rankings. Bill, before you go, what was for you as you look through your rankings, through the data? What was the biggest story coming out of Week 1 in college football?
Points. They went away. It really was pretty fascinating watching so many teams, especially in the bigger games, go to too high against new quarterbacks, just basically say, we'll give you all the 5-yard gains you want. You're going to screw up by midfield and then be proven right. And the fact that we had so many, tempo doesn't really work for that many teams anymore. So you had slow drives that took a long time and generated no points, and suddenly the half was over. And it was interesting. I'm curious how teams go about crafting a little bit more big plays moving forward, because that was a different kind of college football than what we're used to.
As someone who bet a lot of unders Week 1, I was a fan of the defense. He is Bill Connelly on Twitter at ESPN_Bill C. The book is Forward Progress, the definitive guide to the future of college football. You can get it wherever you find books, Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, all the places there. Bill, we appreciate it, man. Thanks as always for the time.
Absolutely. Take care.
You do the same. Bill Connelly from ESPN does a great job. Bill's always very, very generous with his time. We a couple of times a year always visit with Bill to talk SP Plus, because as I say the same thing about SP Plus that I do when I talk about things like Pro Football Focus. It's not the definitive metric. It's a metric. It's something to consider, and it takes a very objective viewpoint of the whole of college football. So instead of what people's opinions are, this is looking at data that he plugs in. The analytics, the formula, the algorithm that he's created, plugs it in the computer, it spits out the numbers and gives you something to judge on. So interesting that his computer was not high on Clemson before the season. And clearly LSU has elevated. He was very high on Alabama, who has taken a tumble. We'll see how it continues to play out. I had a great day today. Earlier today, got to go visit with my friends over at ARCO, ARCCO. This is industrial power. When storms come, as unfortunately we are all familiar with here in Louisiana, and power goes out, you wonder who makes sure that businesses, hospitals, nursing homes, grocery stores, gas stations, who makes sure those banks, industrial facilities, those facilities get back online? Well, it's ARCO Power Systems, ARCCO, ARCO Power Systems. By the way, they go as far west as San Antonio. While their headquarters are just off of Airline Highway near I-12 in Baton Rouge, they go as far west as San Antonio. They go east to Mobile. They're even going north. They're moving soon north to Little Rock. You talk about the entire Southeast. They are the leader, and they're a Generac industrial power dealer. So if you're a business owner, or maybe it's a municipality, a city, a government entity, whatever your business may be, universities, chemical plants, banks, hotels, whatever it may be, if you need that industrial generator, either a permanent solution installed at your business, something to rent when an outage may come, or if you need your generator serviced, you want ARCO, ARCCO, ARCCO. It's arco.com, ARCCO for ARCO Power Systems. All right, it's after further review. Well, now I got a quick break. We'll go around the SEC. Darin Tietgen in 15 minutes. The Fantasy Blitz returns. Darin and I started this segment, I think the first year of AFR, which would have been 2010. It was either 2010 or 2011. So we're going on 14 or 15 years doing this with Darin on Thursdays before the NFL season. So get your personalized fantasy football advice from guys at whotostart.net. And Darin will be with us in 15 minutes. We'll go around the SEC next.
AFR.
Watermark and Renaissance, two amazing hotel properties in Baton Rouge. Watermark downtown, Renaissance Southtown. And my friend Allison Crump, who's the events coordinator, handles the events for both Renaissance and Watermark. So whether it's Renaissance right there on Bluebonnet, where the LSU football team stays the Friday before every home game, or if it's Watermark in downtown Baton Rouge, the premier hotel property in Baton Rouge, if you're thinking of having an event, a fundraiser, a wedding reception, an awards banquet, maybe you want to have a private dining event, you can do it at either the Renaissance right there on Bluebonnet near I-10 across from the Mall of Louisiana and Perkins Row, or downtown Baton Rouge at Watermark Baton Rouge. Of course, Watermark is Baton Rouge's premier hotel property. I've told you before, I love this component. When you go down the marble staircase in the lobby, it's where all the old bank vaults were. They've hollowed those out, modernized them. You can do private dining or meetings there. It's awesome. It's Watermark Baton Rouge.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance, Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
If you stay the same, if we're not grinding to get better in everything that we do, I always go back to fundamentals. If we're not grinding to get better, then, when you get everyone's best shot, right? If you stay the same, that's not going to be good enough. You got to find those marginal areas that you can get better at in tackling and ball security, your scheme, everything.
Apparently the flash was running by Nick Sirianni as he was giving that interview. The world was that. I mean, what are you talking?
Guess they were changing between graphics. I have no idea.
Whoosh. That was Eagles coach Nick Sirianni. The defending Super Bowl champions open up their title defense. Thursday Night Football, NBC and Peacock. That line has moved a little bit. It was 8.5 this morning. As of this very moment, Philly now a 7.5-point choice over the Dallas Cowboys. Of course, sans Micah Parsons. It feels kind of one-sided given the season Dallas had a year ago, and Dallas is easy to hate and make fun of. But for all of their lack of playoff success, Jera there of late has at least built a team and a roster where they've drafted well and have been capable of winning enough games to go to the playoffs. They just didn't have Dak Prescott last year. I would submit to you, take most any team in the NFL, remove their starting quarterback and see what they look like. What are the Kansas City Chiefs without Patrick Mahomes? What are the Buffalo Bills without Josh Allen? What are the Baltimore Ravens without Lamar Jackson? I'm not suggesting Dak at this point in his career is an MVP candidate, but certainly he makes Dallas better, which will be interesting to see how competitive this is. But they are without Micah Parsons in this game, and Prescott was asked during his media availability what losing Micah Parsons, what this trade means for this team.
I mean, we added a great player. Obviously, got some picks for the future. I'm not going to say we're better. We've got to go out there and prove it. We'd have to prove it even if he was on this team. So I'm not going to say that by any means. But I know adding a guy like Kenny Clark, adding a true leader, a real man that's going to only elevate this team, who's been a Pro Bowl player and is excited about being here. I know our focus right now is Philly. I think that's everybody's focus in that locker room. I don't think anybody's hung up on that. As I said, there's enough news and enough media about it. I think as much as anything, it's good that a solution happened. And obviously Micah got paid very well, and great for him and his family. And we'll see him here in about a month. So just honestly glad that I can't say glad, but yeah, glad that we're moved past that, and everybody seems happy because of it.
In addition to the 2 first-round picks, of course, Dallas got Kenny Clark from Green Bay, so a big run-stuffing defensive lineman. It'll be interesting to watch Kenny Clark in this ballgame tonight, of course, with the Eagles, with both Jalen Hurts and Saquon, who, had he played in Week 18 last year, would have broke the single-season rushing record, but he sat. What does that look like? It could be an immediate impact for a guy that Dallas added in that very controversial trade. NFL season returns tonight. Looking forward to it. Of course, the Saints will tee it up, kick it off Sunday noon in the Dome. You'll hear that in Baton Rouge on Eagle 98.1, and affiliates of the New Orleans Saints Radio Network. Okay, we do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference. The Alabama Crimson Tide.
injury to insult is how we could phrase this. Defensive lineman Jeremiah Beeman was hurt in practice. He's out for the season. Lower body injury, not confirmed exactly the injury, but Kalen DeBoer on his radio show did confirm that Jeremiah Beeman out for the year. He was starting, by the way, in place of junior Tim Keenan, who remained sidelined with a lower body injury of his own. So Keenan was replaced by Beeman. Beeman's now out for the year, so he'll be in their third string interior defensive lineman this weekend against ULM.
The Florida Gators.
Billy Napier offered an update on defensive lineman Caleb Banks, who's recovering from a lower leg injury. Napier said that Banks is, quote, really close. Saw my picture next to Caleb Banks at SEC Media Days. He could eat me whole. Like, he could literally just eat me. He's a massive, massive human. I suffered the injury, which a source previously told reporters that it was, quote, not serious. Suffered during training camp in August, but Banks was in a boot, did not play in week 1, and most likely eyeing a return against LSU a week from Saturday.
The Texas Longhorns.
Redshirt freshman defensive back Wardell Mack, former LSU commitment, he was arrested on a DWI charge, booked into Travis County Jail Wednesday morning, driving while intoxicated. Mack's only 19 years old, was released on bond. Played 4 games as a true freshman before taking the red shirt. Did not play in the team's loss to Ohio State last Saturday.
The Oklahoma Sooners.
OU lands in-state 2026 wide receiver Xavier Akufuluweze.
Yeah, I think he nailed it, actually. I think that's good.
It's the W that's throwing me off. The WF. OKWF. Okufuluweze. Okufuluweze. I think that's it.
I thought he did pretty good the first time.
I know. Anyway, he's the 19th member of Oklahoma's class. He's the number 520 overall recruit in the country.
The Tennessee Volunteers.
And 4-star North Carolina offensive tackle J.B. Shabazz flipped from Tennessee to his home state Tar Heels. So I guess getting your behind kicked by TCU in the opener did not deter the 6'6", 315-pounder Shabazz from flipping from the Vols to the Heels. He's the 13th best player in the state of North Carolina. All right, there you have it. That is Around the SEC. We're brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints, helping you cover the spread all year long. It is Rouse's. You're going to be tailgating for the Tigers or for the Saints. Make sure you get by Rouse's. You want to order your party platters and trays, go to the deli or call. You could do it. Have it ready for whatever time you want to pick it up. If you want their ribs, you want their sandwiches, the finger sandwiches, the mini muffalettas, the crawfish pies, the meat pies. They got all of it for you. Cheese trays, fruit trays, dessert trays. They can have you covered for game day over at Rouse's. They got your beers, your bourbons, your wines, your RTDs. They got it all at Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints, helping you cover the spread all season long for your tailgate, your home gate, your watch party. It's Rouse's. This feels like home. All right, y'all. It's after further review. Just about that time. We're going to knock out a break. When we come back, we welcome back Darin Tietgen to the show for our Fantasy Blitz. If you're new, if you're unindoctrinated, whotostart.net, it's pretty easy. You get personalized fantasy football advice. You ask him who to start, and he'll give you an answer. So get your questions in. Email us. Tweet us at Matt Moscona, or you can jump in the Bayou Forward YouTube chat on the Watch 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel, or you can text your question in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Fantasy Blitz is next.
AFR.
Man, if you're a business owner struggling with the hiring market since COVID, and I know we're 5 years removed from COVID, coming up 5.5 years removed from COVID, which is hard to believe, but the effects of that time are still being felt in almost every industry. The world changed. How people work changed. Some people don't go into an office anymore. The advent of Zoom and working remotely has stuck for so many industries. If you're amid this hiring market trying to find the right people and struggling, Glow Resources can help. They're based right here in Baton Rouge, and their job, as they say, Complete Employer Solutions, is to help you, the business owner, find the right people for whatever job it is that you have. It could be skilled blue-collar labor up to C-level management, anything in between in any industry. Check them out online to start that conversation at glowresources.com.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. This, it's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunnyquip.com.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
My father, J.B. Falgout, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgout.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
Baton Rouge's home for real rock. It's Eagle 98.1. Foo Fighters. Led Zeppelin. AC/DC. Pearl Jam. And the flagship home for LSU sports. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. Eagle 98.1 is the rock station.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com. After further review, this is the Fantasy Football Blitz.
Do you know who I am?
Powered by whotostart.net.
Who the hell are you?
Whotostart.net. The Fantasy Football Blitz.
Who the bitten?
This is the Fantasy Football Blitz. Powered by whotostart.net.
All right, let's do it. Week 1 of the NFL season kicks off tonight. Time to welcome back Darin, Tietgen. Not only year 14, 15, I don't know how many years we've been doing this now. Getting your personalized fantasy football advice. Darin, how are you, man?
Hey, Matt, doing good. I think we are going on year 15 because I know my daughter wasn't even born when we started, and she just started her first year of high school.
Dude, we are so old now. Oh, man. Well, we're thrilled to have you back. We love telling people about whotostart.net. It's the numeral 2. You can get your personalized fantasy football advice, or maybe you get lucky, get a question in for Darin. Let's start like we always do with tonight's game. Eagles, the defending champs, Cowboys. Who we keeping an eye on tonight?
It's the usual suspects. It's Dak Prescott. It's CeeDee Lamb if you're looking at the Cowboys. Look for George Pickens to step up as that number 2 receiver. And then with Dak back and healthy, look for Jake Ferguson to actually become a viable tight end. Of course, on the other side, we got Barkley, we got A.J. Brown, of course, Jalen Hurts with the tush push are the usual suspects there for the Eagles.
Sleepers for week 1.
Yeah, we got a few for you. We like Ollie Gordon, who is the rookie running back for the Dolphins, kind of takes the Raheem Mostert role there. Devon Achane not really a bell cow back. So look for Ollie Gordon, who's had a nice preseason, to step up and maybe get a touchdown for the Dolphins. Wide receiver, we've got a couple for you. Xavier Legette versus Jacksonville should be a good play with Adam Thielen now back in Minnesota. And then we also like, especially in PPR formats, we like Wandale Robinson, wide receiver for the Giants. Malik Neighbors, obviously one of the best receivers in the league, but he can't do everything. So look for Russell Wilson to look for Wandale in the flat.
All right, get your questions in. You can email us, tweet us, or text us, 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Let's start with Matt, who said who to start, Mayfield or Goff. He threw in another one, Tony Pollard or Travis Hunter in the flex. Who to start?
I think at the quarterback position, I think you're going to go with Baker Mayfield there. Obviously, with Godwin not playing, most likely you're still going to have two viable wide receivers and a good matchup for Mayfield. And then at the other position, I would lean towards Pollard there. He should see a lot of touches for the Titans.
Scott says Debo or Travis Hunter at flex. Who to start?
Oh boy, I mean, the talk, obviously, I'm sure everybody has been talking about Travis Hunter in terms of his usage. I mean, how many snaps is he going to get at wide receiver? I think I would err on the side of caution here and just go with Debo as that second wide receiver for that high-flying Commanders offense and see what the snap count looks like for the rookie Hunter.
Caleb says Devontae Smith or George Pickens. Who to start?
Yeah, that's obviously two guys going tonight, and the number two receivers for their respective squads. I think Devontae Smith is probably the safer bet. If you feel like you're in good shape to beat your opponent, I think I would just err on the side of caution and play Smith. But if you need a guy with a lot of upside, I think Pickens might get quite a number of targets tonight as well.
Greg, who to start? Half a point PPR. Darnell Mooney, Debo Samuel, or Rashid Shaheed. Who to start?
I think I'm going Shaheed there. Obviously, he's is going to kind of go as Spencer Rattler goes, but in the half-point PPR system, I think you want to go for the possible deep touchdown there, and Shaheed is definitely that. The other two guys, I don't think Mooney's actually going to play, or he's real questionable to play. So I think Shaheed's probably your home run threat there.
All right, Brennan needs help at flex. This is in a PPR league. He's got four names. He needs two of them, Darin. He's got David Montgomery, Aaron Jones, Calvin Ridley, and Devontae Smith. Who to start?
I think you're going to go with the receivers there. I like Devontae Smith. We talked about him a little bit already. Calvin Ridley, I don't think there's really anybody else on that team, the Titans, that's going to get a lot of targets. So I think you could see like a 50-60% target share from the new rookie quarterback Cam Ward there. He likes Ridley quite a bit, and that matchup's not too bad. So I think I'd go Ridley and Smith there.
Daniel needs help at quarterback. He's got Dak or C.J. Stroud. Who to start?
Oh, boy. You're going to be pulling your hair out with those two guys all season pretty much. Yeah, I would probably go to the upside of Dak now that he's healthy. He's got Pickens. I kind of liken Dak to this year's Joe Burrow. The defense is going to be terrible. They're going to be throwing a ton. I think you just go with Dak.
Who2start.net. It's the numeral 2. Who2start.net. See if we can get a few more in here. Peyton has got another quarterback question. Kyler Murray or Dak Prescott? Who to start? Another one not be pulling your hair out.
Yeah, I'm gonna flip that around on this one. I mean, I like Dak enough, and I think he's going to be great this season and get you a lot of garbage time stats. But I think with the running ability of Kyler Murray and the matchup this week, I think I might lean Murray just slightly this week. We'll see what happens week 2, though.
Daryl needs help at tight end. He says, who to start, Jake Ferguson tonight or wait for Tyler Warren on Sunday? Who to start?
I'd probably roll the dice with Warren. He's garnering some rave reviews out of camp and through the preseason. I don't like the Miami defense too much. I think Warren gets involved, especially with Daniel Jones at quarterback. So I think you give the rookie a shot here.
All right, Ron needs help at quarterback. He's got 3, so this is a who to sit, Darin. He's got Dak, Drake May, J.J. McCarthy. So who you sitting among those 3?
If he needs 2 of them, I would go with the first 2. May and Dak are probably your best options. If you need 1, then Dak, just go with Dak.
A lot of Dak questions here. Chris said who to start, Dak or Bo Nix?
Yeah, this one's close too. Looks like a lot of people were drafting quarterbacks around the same time in their drafts because those guys are kind of similarly ranked. But I think you go with Dak this week, which should be a shootout tonight in Philly.
One more, Eric, starter city. Say which two out of he's got Hampton, Austin Eckler, or Warren. So he's sitting one of those.
I'm definitely playing Hampton, or not Hampton, Warren. Just think that he's going to be the better of the two Steeler running backs, especially in PPR format. For Eckler, I think I'll probably sit him and go with Hampton over him, even though he's going to be splitting some time with Najee Harris. I want to see what the splits are for that Commander's backfield. Eckler is definitely not a bell cow type of back. He's more of just kind of a change of pace, ball catcher kind of player. So I think I'm sitting Eckler this week.
He is Darin Tietgen, hoot2start.net. Hoot2start.net, the numeral 2. Get your personalized fantasy football advice. We do it every Thursday. Happy football, Darin. We appreciate the time, man. Thank you.
Yep, glad to be back. Thanks.
Of course, man. Look forward to it again next week. It's After Further Review. Our Thursday shows are brought to you by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing in Baton Rouge. DecisionCriticalBR.com. DecisionCriticalBR.com. Heading up to Ruston. Hour 2 next.
AFR.
Windows, doors, siding. Oh, yeah. They do shutters as well. Of course, it's Relief Windows. Brandon Holly and the gang over at Relief Windows do awesome work. I would always encourage you to, by the way, especially if you're in the greater Baton Rouge area, to go see them at their showroom on Airline Highway in Prairieville. You know where they are. So if you're on Airline, you're going south. You cross Highway 42, about a quarter mile on the right. You can't miss it. Big, beautiful facilities. As a matter of fact, the same designer that designed LSU football operations designed the Relief Window showroom. So you'll see a lot of the synergies there. Color scheme as well with purple and gold. It's Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com. Hey, one of the things, of course, that sets Relief Windows apart is a true lifetime transferable warranty. If other companies can say they offer a lifetime transferable warranty, but have they been around long enough to prove it? With Relief Windows, you don't have to worry about that. Windows, doors, siding, they do shutters as well. Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
When you can't rely on technology, you can rely on Mountain Cold Refreshment. Dave's back on. Coors Light. Choose chill.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $22,500 off MSRP on the brand new 2025 Ram 1500 Laramie with $22,500 off MSRP with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
River Parish Contractors has immediate openings for structural steel shop fabricators. Call or text Big Jake today at 318-547-1000 or go to rpcontractors.com and click on employment. River Parish Contractors. Let's get building.
It's not just a game, it's a religion. You've got your team colors, team swag, and now your very own website. LouisianaSports.net. Everything LSU, Saints, and Pelicans. Sports on demand. In-depth coverage by sports writing pros with continuously updated news. And with the LouisianaSports.net newsletter, you get pinged directly with top trending stories. Best of all, now and always. No paywall. It's free. LouisianaSports.net. Powered by 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Your home for Louisiana sports.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. It's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunnyquip.com.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. It all starts tonight in Philadelphia. The 2025 NFL season kicks off with the Super Bowl champion Eagles hosting the NFC East rival Cowboys. A week after Dallas traded star edge rusher Micah Parsons to the Packers, Cowboys have lost 3 of the previous 5 matchups. They are a 7.5-point underdog tonight per ESPN bet. So how do they pull off the upset? All-City DLLS Sports and longtime Cowboys reporter Clarence Hill. Receiver Amari Cooper has informed the Raiders he intends to retire just days before the team opens the season against the Patriots in New England. The Broncos made outside linebacker Nick Bonito the highest-paid non-quarterback in franchise history. The sides agreed on a 4-year, $106 million extension, $70 million guaranteed. Baseball, the Mets are calling up right-hander Brandon Sproat to start on Sunday against the Reds. The third time in less than a month, the club will promote one of its top pitching process to bolster its scuffling starting rotation. New York currently holding the final NL wildcard spot.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy, coming up Friday as Aaron Rodgers gets ready to take on his former team. I'll tell you why Week 1 is a must-win for Rodgers and the Steelers. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from downtown Baton Rouge.
Let's ride!
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing in Baton Rouge. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Yes, sir. And Mr. Toby Tom Blake. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. We will talk to Tech head coach Sonny Cumbie next hour. Mike Triplett will be here as well. Right now, we head up to Ruston. Matt Belinson is the sports editor there at the Ruston Leader. Covers the Louisiana Tech Bulldogs. Good enough to jump aboard with us here for a couple of minutes. Matt, how are you, man?
I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, it's our pleasure. Obviously, a really tall task this week coming to Baton Rouge. What's the general mood vibe there in Ruston this week?
You know, I think fans are encouraged by what they saw. I think from the defense last week for Louisiana Tech, I think that's pretty much the only thing that they were encouraged by in that Week 1 win over Southeastern Louisiana. You know, the offense had a lot of turnover. You know, bringing in Tony Franklin as the new offensive coordinator, a lot of new changes, new quarterback, a couple new pieces at wide receiver. I think fans were excited, frankly, to see if this offense could put up some points finally in year 4 of the Sonny Cumbie era. Unfortunately, that did not happen until really pretty much late in the third quarter where this offense finally put together 2 touchdown drives. Outside of that, it was pretty much more of the same. You know, the offense stalled out, a lot of 3-and-outs. You know, they basically didn't play a half of football against Southeastern. So I think they head down to Baton Rouge, you know, fans and coaches and players alike. I think they're optimistic that things offensively can be better. I don't know if they're going to necessarily put up a lot of points this week against LSU, but I certainly feel like fans are encouraged that there's some pieces in place that I think lends you to believe that Louisiana Tech can have some better success this year.
Tony Franklin's a name that a lot of SEC fans will recognize, but of course, I mean, Sonny Cumbie, his background is on the offensive side of the ball. Whose fingerprint really is on this offense in Ruston?
It's Tony Franklin. Tony Franklin is calling the plays. He's the primary play caller. They made it very clear in the offseason program that he is in charge of this offense, personnel, scheme, you know, whatever you want to say. Sonny Cumbie is pretty much taking a step back. He's going to be the overseer now, offense and defense. He's kind of the culture builder, building relationships, just making sure the operation of the football program goes smoothly. You even heard it last week. Tony Franklin started the first half up in the box calling plays, and then Tony himself told Sonny Cumbie, hey, I'm going to come down on the field in the second half and call plays. Does that sound good to you? And Sonny said yes. So this is 100% Tony's offense. I think that, again, was maybe the kind of the frustrating part with Tech fans is, okay, fine. Sonny Cumbie gives up play calling to Tony Franklin in year 4. Finally, we'll get to see some offense going. Tony Franklin knows what FBS play calling looks like. And for pretty much a half of football, they did not look like a competent offense. So I think moving forward, now that they know who their quarterback is, now that they know what this offense can do, I'm expecting them to put up some points here in the next couple of weeks and really put their mark that this is a different offense from what we've seen.
Yeah, Matt, it was interesting on Saturday against Southeastern. There was balance. But there just wasn't a lot of offense. It was 130 pass yards, 132 rushing yards. So do they want balance, or are they maybe trying to lean more one side or the other?
This is definitely a run-first team. Tony Franklin's offense is dictated by a run-first quarterback. He wants a mobile guy back there, behind the center. I think that's why they gave Trey Kukuk the job at quarterback. If you remember last year, Evan Bullock, was this team's starting quarterback for 10 games. And Evan was in deep competition with Trey, throughout fall camp. But it was very obvious that just Evan's lack of mobility, held him back as far as what Tony Franklin wanted to do in this offense. And they made it very clear that Trey can do that. Coming from Saddleback Community College in California, Trey rushed for almost 600 yards, 6 touchdowns. The idea of a running quarterback is huge in this offense, and I think, like you mentioned, you saw multiple running backs, get in that game, and I think a lot of balanced carries. I don't think they've really established a downhill. You're going to get 10 to 12 carries as our tailback type of guy. I think it's going to be a little bit more balanced. But I think overall in the passing game, I think it's definitely going to build off the run, what they can do from that. I think they don't really have those downfield playmakers, those explosive guys that they've had maybe in years past, like a Trey Harris or a Cyrus Allen. But I certainly feel like they have a pretty good tight end, Eli Finley. They have a couple of junior college transfers that they like as well in the receiver room. So I would expect on Saturday this team is going to run first, and then maybe take a couple shots in the passing game.
Matt, it's always interesting how rosters are built now in the portal era. Matt Belinson's with us, by the way, from the Ruston Daily Leader. You mentioned Trey Harris, who, of course, everybody remembers was just outstanding last year at Ole Miss when he was healthy. I mean, he was at Tech before he went to Ole Miss. You mentioned a few JUCO transfers coming in. Has Sonny Cumbie built this roster through the transfer portal?
It's interesting. I think in certain spots they have. I think particularly on the defensive line and at the defensive secondary, you've definitely seen them increase, their JUCO, their transfer portal additions. I think, frankly, some of that has just been the roster has just turned over at a super high rate that I think they don't really have the luxury of trusting. Maybe some of the high school kids that they've brought in through the recruiting, cycle over the past couple of years. I think that's why they've gone through the JUCO route the past couple of years, particularly on the defensive, offensive lines and the defensive secondary. I think those are positions that are too crucial to maybe sometimes trust some of the high school kids that you bring in. But at the same time, I think if you're a Louisiana Tech program and wondering maybe why you have not sustained success and had a winning season since 2019, it's probably because you have not had talent in your building that has stayed and frankly produced to the point where you trust them to be in your building year after year. So I certainly feel like on the offensive and defensive line, it's definitely where you've seen a lot of junior college transfers, a lot of guys coming in and out throughout the past couple seasons, particularly on the defensive line. I mean, there's a lot of new faces this year. If I remember correctly, they lost 7 to the transfer portal this past offseason alone. So there's a lot of new faces from the junior college, similar mid-major level. So the defensive line is definitely where they've hit, transfer portal pretty heavy. Outside of that, at the skill positions, they brought in a couple of JUCO transfers, but for the most part, they really have brought in some guys that have stayed in this program for a long time and have given them some opportunities.
One guy not on the line, but that LSU fans will remember is Colby Fields from New Orleans, started his career at South Carolina, was in Baton Rouge for a year, transferred to Tech. He's the preseason CUSA Defensive Player of the Year. Had 13 tackles last week against Southeastern. What has worked so well for Fields there in Ruston?
Yeah, I think it's just the versatility of the defensive schemes he's been in. He's not necessarily, the typical linebacker build, 6 foot, 225. He definitely is a guy that can be in a kind of a hybrid role. They like to put him, inside the box, outside the box. They can put him in the coverage, in the secondary. He's definitely a guy that I think you can put him all across the field in different areas. And I think he can just confuse defenses with his athleticism. Again, like you mentioned, he can go down and make 13 tackles. he can also break up passes and make plays on the ball. So he's just a linebacker that I think can do a lot of different things in this defensive scheme with Luke Olson. And I think you saw that obviously in week one. Again, he was deployed very effectively. And frankly, last year, I was kind of surprised that he came back to Louisiana Tech just given the production that he had last year, with over 70 tackles, a couple tackles for loss, a pick. He definitely improved his game. Obviously he had to sit out 2 seasons ago after transferring from LSU, but man, he made the most of his redshirt junior season last year, and I would expect him to continue that production definitely this Saturday and going forward at Louisiana Tech.
How are the Bulldogs on special teams this year?
They had to replace their place kicker and their punter. Both of those guys left for the transfer portal as well. So it's just the nature of the beast at Louisiana Tech. They just have to replace a lot of positions, frankly, year after year. I thought their place kicker did okay. In game one, again, the offense did not exactly produce a whole lot for him to necessarily show off his field goal leg. And I think, kind of the kickoffs were definitely a question mark as well. Buck Buchanan has been this team's place kicker for the past couple seasons, had a really great leg. I think he was top 5 in the country in touchbacks. He's gone out of Colorado, so I think you're going to see a lot of kickoffs this year not reach the end zone. Louisiana Tech special teams coverage game is definitely going to have to be a lot stronger. I think in the punting game as well, John Hoyt Chance, was the Conference USA Special Teams Player of the Week this past week, but at the same time, Sonny Cumbie admitted that the hang time on some of these punts is a concern. So I think overall there's some encouraging signs that you maybe have some pieces that you like in the special teams game, but it is definitely an unproven unit just in terms of game speed and game time played. So I would definitely expect the special teams unit to grow and frankly maybe have some growing pains, if not this weekend, then definitely throughout the rest of the season.
Matt, if Matt Belinson from the Rustin Leader is with us, if this is a tall ask this weekend, LSU's I think a 37.5 point favorite. If there is a blueprint for Sonny Cumbie squad to come to Baton Rouge, keep it close, make it a game in the fourth quarter, how does that look?
It has to be takeaways. I go back to when Louisiana Tech played at Arkansas last year. Again, I know the final scores that says that Louisiana Tech lost by 21 points. But I go back to Arkansas's first 5 drives: punt, interception, punt, fumble. Louisiana Tech's offense does nothing after their defense gets those stops. And so I think it's a matter of, can you potentially stop this LSU juggernaut offense? Can you somehow get Garrett Nussmeier to make a mistake? Can you find a way to intercept the ball and return it a couple yards and get inside LSU territory? And you have to take advantage of opportunities. Again, it was encouraging to see this defense have 3 takeaways last week, but at the same time, you only score 7 points after 3 takeaways. So if Louisiana Tech wants any opportunity to beat LSU, for one, they have to force them into turnovers. And then number 2, they have to take advantage of the opportunities that the defense gives them. I think that's frankly the only way. I think if these teams just match up and go blow for blow, I don't see how this Louisiana Tech offense can possibly match LSU. I think it definitely is going to have to be LSU's offense gives Louisiana Tech extra possessions, and then Louisiana Tech has to take advantage of those opportunities.
Are they a bowl team?
Man, I predicted them to go, bowling, in the preseason, just given how easy their first 6 games are. But I'll be honest, the offensive performance in week 1 definitely scared me. Again, it's only one game, but I'm not going to make grand conclusions. I certainly feel like the rest of the schedule bodes them well, that they can make a bowl game, but this offense would have to show major improvement, for them to do that. But as of right now, I'm going to stick with my prediction. I did have them going 7-5 in the regular season. I think just the schedule bodes so well. You get the 3 best teams in the league coming to your home field, and then your first 3 league games are New Mexico State, UTEP, and Kennesaw State. Like, you should be 3-0 in league play entering, the middle of October. So I think Louisiana Tech definitely has a path to a bowl game.
Matt Belinson, Rustin Leader, covers the Bulldogs. We appreciate it, man. Thanks for the time.
Yeah, thank you.
Of course, it's our pleasure. It's After Further Review. We're brought to you by First South Farm Credit, FirstSouthLand.com, FirstSouthLand.com. If you're thinking of buying land, your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. And one of the things I love, of course, they've been so rooted in agriculture and farming naturally for more than 100 years in Louisiana. Great post that they had up on their social media thanking those farmers who, of course, are just such a key component, the backbone of what makes our country great. It's how we eat. It's how we live. Thanking all those who work in the acres and, as they said, not who work in acres and not hours. I love the way that they phrase that. It's First South Farm Credit. But most people in agriculture, about First South Farm Credit. You need the 1,000 acres for agriculture. They've got you. But maybe you're looking to buy that hunting property. Maybe that recreational, that timber property, that investment property. Or maybe you want to buy 20 acres to build your family's dream home. You work in the city, live in the country. First South Farm Credit can make it happen. Start and make your first call to First South Farm Credit. FirstSouthLand.com, FirstSouthLand.com. Thinking of buying land? Your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. FirstSouthland.com. All right, y'all, it's After Further Review. We're glad you're aboard with us here. Muse, Paulie, and I will get to what to watch in about 15 minutes from right now. At the top of Hour 3, we will get to our NFL season picks. We'll put it out on the line. We always put them out, and at the end of the season, we always circle back, tell you what we got right, tell you what we got wrong from our picks. So, I've already told you, picking the Bengals. Muse, you didn't move me off my mark. Sticking with it.
I tried. I did my best. For the good of the Bengals, I did my best.
Not moving. I'm not persuaded or dissuaded. I do have my NFC pick ready to go. I did a lot of soul searching. I landed on it. I'm confident. I'll get to that at 5 o'clock Central. Start of hour number 3. Sonny Cumbie, by the way, the head coach of Louisiana Tech, is going to be with us in 1 hour from right now. We're excited to have Coach with us. Mike Triplett in hour 3. Ton to do. Okay, by the way, the Saints are off the practice field, and we do have an update on Chase Young. We'll get to that next here on AFR.
AFR.
So 2 days ago, we were having an issue with the AC in our bedroom, the AC unit in our bedroom, where the humidity on that AC unit was at 80 degrees. So it was cooling properly. It was just something weird. And what happened, Eric had fumbled with a button on the keypad, locked something in, couldn't figure out how to change it. I called River City's 1 Hour Air from right here during one of our breaks at around 5 o'clock Central. When I got home at 6:30, 90 minutes later, the technician had already gotten to our house, done the work, and left. By the way, there was no charge as well because we're part of the membership club, the maintenance club that I tell you about all the time, where you get your complimentary seasonal maintenance, you get front-of-the-line service, and you get maintenance member pricing as well. It's River City's 1 Hour Air. Look for the big yellow vans and trucks with the giant clock on the side. I tell you all the time. They're always on time or you don't pay a dime, and they're just the best. River City's 1 Hour Air, 752-0001.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
I'm Gabrielle McLeod on behalf of the Louisiana Propane Dealers. I have spent hundreds of hours preparing for scholarship competitions. That preparation paid off when I won the Fitness and Talent Awards along with the title of Miss Louisiana. The Louisiana Propane Dealers are also pretty talented and want you to be prepared for when the power goes out. Visit LouisianaPropane.com to find out about propane generators and other safety tips. Louisiana Propane, it truly is the fuel for our future.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
Flight by Yingling is raising the bar by crafting the next generation of light beer.
With only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
Been hoping for the best for Walker Howard. If you didn't see the story, Howard, who everybody knows, started his career at LSU, went to Ole Miss the last couple of seasons, transferred to his hometown, Raging Cajuns, won the starting quarterback job in the season opener against Rice this past weekend. Took a hit, suffered an oblique injury. I was told last evening that Walker was he's been ruled out for this weekend's game, but was against McNeese, but was told yesterday that they're flying to Birmingham to see a specialist at Dr. James Andrews' clinic in Birmingham, a specialist for the oblique injury that Walker has, to determine the severity. So hoping for the best there, but you hear that, and I can't help but think of what happened with Miles Brennan when he took that hit against Missouri in the COVID year back in 2020. Walker's battled through a lot of adversity, both in his football life and certainly his personal life, I think, as most people know. And this was his opportunity to finally get out there and start, and the first game suffers an injury. So we'll see. We'll hope for the best, and hopefully it's not a long-term thing, but we'll wait and see what the results of this visit to the specialists are in Birmingham. And I know there's just a lot of people here who are pulling for Walker Howard. They want him to be healthy and want him to have an opportunity to be great. So Daniel Beal of Calicut, who started 4 years at Catholic, went to 3 state championships, was the 5A all-state quarterback his senior year and the state player of the year. He'll start this week. As a redshirt freshman, he'll get his first start this weekend for the Cajuns there at Our Lady of Lourdes Field in Lafayette against McNeese. So excited for on one hand, excited for Daniel Beal getting his opportunity. On the other, totally bummed for Walker Howard. But if we get an update there, we'll certainly let you know. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com, lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Jens, if you're thinking of popping the question, the place to go is Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry for whatever beautiful piece of jewelry it is that you're thinking of buying. Hey, maybe you've been married, you've got a special milestone anniversary coming up. One thing that you see often is upgrades. You could take the ring that you bought however many years ago, bring it in. You could trade in that old diamond for a new diamond, maybe a little bit of an upgrade. Great anniversary present, something to consider at Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. They got a great selection. If they don't have what you want, they'll find it. If they can't find it, they'll make it. They want her to be thrilled and you to be a hero. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. lmfj.com, lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. On Wednesday, Chase Young was on the injury report as a limited participant. After practice on Wednesday, Kellen Moore had this exchange about the severity of Chase Young's injury.
Just to clarify, Chase again, sorry, but not really a concern, right? Is that?
Yeah, he was just limited to.
He was able to finish practice though after the.
He was just limited, yeah. He just had a little something come up, and yeah.
Okay, so just limited. Now, whenever you go through the week and the injury reports come out Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, if a player is a DNP, they did not practice, the later in the week, obviously that's more of a concern. So Chase Young was limited on Wednesday with the calf injury. Well, on Thursday, Chase Young was a DNP. The injury report is out. Chase Young and Trevor Penning neither practiced on Thursday. If you're not at least a limited participant, you're not out there moving around on the field doing football-adjacent activities on Friday, the odds of you playing on Sunday are pretty low. So it is fair. I am editorializing here, but it is fair to say Trevor Penning and Chase Young, their availability for Sunday very much feels up in the air at this very moment. We will wait and see what happens Friday. If either of those guys get out there and move around a little bit or are able to participate. It is also worth noting that after practice, Nick Underhill tweeted, and I'll read this directly for you. in case if you're not watching, we'll put it up on the screen. This was Nick's tweet about 30 minutes ago. Chase Young didn't provide specifics on his injury, but said, quote, hell no, end quote, when asked if it's a long-term concern. He expects to be good soon. What does soon mean? I don't know. That is obviously subjective for each individual case. But if Chase Young is not able to go on Sunday, that's a concern. This is a guy who spent $51 million in this offseason, a 3-year, $51 million extension. A guy who was among the NFL leaders a season ago in quarterback pressures. Didn't convert a ton of them into sacks, but was very good at pressuring the quarterback a season ago. And now in the season opener, when you're facing an Arizona team that is very clearly has its sights set on being a playoff team after winning 4 games in year one under Jonathan Gannon, then going 8-9 a season ago and looking to take that next step this year with Kyler Murray, who has already been in the league for 7 years.
Murray, present.
Hard to believe it's been that long, but maybe finally healthy off the knee injury, which cost him the end of the season 2 years ago, the beginning of last season, or I guess 2 years ago. Now you're talking about a guy who, after playing a full season a year ago, is very likely stepping back into that role, maybe as a consistent starter in the NFL. For whatever it's worth, the Saints did, in fact, add a defensive end today. And correlation does not always equal causation, but sometimes when moves like this happen, it's pretty obvious as to why, and you can start to read the tea leaves. Ross Jackson reported this a bit ago. The Saints have signed defensive end Garrett Nelson and released Hunter Deckers as the corresponding move. So at least if nothing else, as a precaution, the New Orleans Saints have added defensive end Garrett Nelson to provide some depth there at defensive end in the event that Chase Young is not able to go. Garrett Nelson, incidentally, is a now former Denver Broncos defensive end / outside linebacker. So he was waived by the Broncos, and now we'll see if he has an opportunity to play for the New Orleans Saints. So he has not played a snap in the NFL, and but a guy that the Saints have added to give at least some depth at that position. So as you look at that injury report, the Chase Young news here is a concern, and it almost takes your eyes off the ball with respect to Trevor Penning, who's still out with the toe injury that he suffered in the first preseason game. And so with Penning not practicing Wednesday or Thursday, that very much puts in doubt his availability for the season opener against Arizona on Sunday. And if it's not Trevor Penning, is it Dylan Radins, who was the former second-round pick of the Tennessee Titans? The Saints signed in free agency this offseason. Remember, Nick Saldiveri is out. Will Clapp is out. They're both on IR. Their seasons are over due to injury. So Dylan Radins would likely, I would assume, be that guy at left guard in the season opener if Penning isn't able to go. But before the season even starts, it feels like Groundhog Day here. It feels like a little deja vu all over again. So many injuries really defined the New Orleans Saints season a year ago, from all the starters on the offensive line, Taysom Hill, Foster Moreau, Alvin Kamara, Rashid Shaheed, Chris Olave. And now here as the season is starting just a few days before week one, you might be without your starting left guard and your high-price free agent defensive end in Chase Young. So, again, Chase Young said adamantly to Nick Underhill he does not expect this to be a long-term injury, but when you don't practice on Thursday, your availability for Sunday is very much in question. So we'll see if Chase Young and or Trevor Penning are able to go stretch their legs, get out there, and do a little bit of moving around on Friday's practice. If not, I would say it's unlikely you'd see either of those guys out there on Sunday against Arizona. As for Arizona, interestingly, they only had 2 players on the injury report on Wednesday. A couple of offensive linemen. Will Hernandez was limited. John Gaines was full. But 2 new players have been added to the injury report. Defensive lineman Dante Stills, did not practice with what's being listed as a heel injury. And then Owen Popoe, who was it's Popoe or Papo? I never said this correctly when he was at Auburn, but he was a really good linebacker from Auburn. I think it might be Popoe. I don't remember. But you remember him, the linebacker from Auburn. He was limited today with a quadricep injury after practicing fully on Wednesday. So I think it's Owen Papo. But anyway, we'll look for the injury report on Friday and see how it all shakes out, who's going to be available. We'll get those final availability reports on game day, who's going to be active and who's not. But we'll have, if someone is ruled out, we'll find out on Friday, and we'll certainly keep you posted. But the one worth keeping an eye on clearly for New Orleans is this Chase Young calf injury, which has popped up that might well keep him out for the season opener on Sunday, and we'll see potentially for how much longer. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Supper Club. Man, weekend is here. Moscona, it's Thursday. Yeah, I know, but the weekend is here. Start the weekend early at Supper Club. The NFL season's kicking off tonight. Celebrate at Supper Club. Even if you want to watch the game, just go home and watch the second half. Go have dinner at Supper Club. Maybe you pop in after work, have a glass of wine, a cocktail. They have a amazing whiskey selection. If you're a whiskey nerd like me, you will love Supper Club. They've got the Van Winkles. They've got the full Weller Vertical. They've got all of the E.H. Taylors, all of the Mash Bill 2s, and some amazing, hard-to-find rare whiskeys, just like their wine cellar. And I tell you all the time about Supper Club. Look, you want to go out there and ball out and drink a $10,000 bottle of wine, they got that. They've got that in their wine library. If you want to go have a USDA prime steak prepared to perfection with great sides and a bottle of wine, some desserts, you can do that as affordably as you would at any other fine dining restaurant. Now, you want Japanese Wagyu that comes from like the Omi beef that you can only get at like 3 restaurants in the United States of America, you can do that too. They got it for you. No matter what experience you have, you're going to have the best dining experience, period, at Supper Club. Get your reservation, supperclubbtr.com, supperclubbtr.com. That's supperclubbtr.com. All right, y'all, rolling along here in this Thursday edition of AFR presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing in Baton Rouge. We'll grab a break, come back. Muse, Paulie, and I will tell you what to watch. 3 things for the football weekend, 3 things each that we're keeping an eye on. And Lee Sterling's here in 15 minutes. We'll get Lee's best bets. Need a bounce back. Lee was 1-4 in his 5 picks a week ago after missing on K-State in week 0. So 1-5 out the gates for Lee Sterling. So it just means we're due for a bounce back for sure. So Lee Sterling will be here in 15 minutes from right now. It is a Thursday edition of AFR presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing in Baton Rouge. Stay with us here on AFR.
After Further Review.
Get Gordon. Get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. You've been injured in an accident. It's not your fault. Do what injured people in our state have done for 3 decades. Get Gordon and get it done. You can always go to the website at getgordon.com, getgordon.com, and you can see testimonials from actual clients of Gordon's. And some of the numbers are pretty striking. And he's fond of saying big or small, I handle them all. Like, here's a shared tobacco settlement that was $575 million. And you can see all of the different settlements in all the different types of cases that they've handled. A bicyclist hit by a car. A highway defect that caused an injury. An 18-wheeler wreck that netted a $5 million judgment. You can see them all there at getgordon.com. Getgordon.com. Listen, if you've been injured, don't go it alone. Get Gordon and get it done.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana Propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit LouisianaPropane.com.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Huh. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Businesses like yours are the soul of our community. You deserve someone who'll deliver the internet services you deserve. That's why local businesses rely on Rev Business, 90 years of building connections. Visit us at letsrev.biz.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
All right, we'll get to Lee Sterling's best bets coming up here in about 10 minutes from right now. It is the Thursday edition of AFR presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing in Baton Rouge. Remember two things. Football this weekend. Get your IV hydration drips now. You can call Decision Critical. They'll come to you, home or office. You want an IV to get hydrated before you go tailgate? They can do it. They can come to you with their concierge nursing. Also, maybe you care for an elderly parent. You feel guilty about leaving for tailgating or going to the game. Their nurses can come and sit with whomever, your infant, all the way up. We say it all the time, from birth to end of life care and everything in between. It's not just health care. It's health care for your lifestyle. DecisionCriticalBR.com. DecisionCriticalBR.com. All right, every single Thursday, Muse, Paulie, and I will do it. We call it What to Watch. 3 things we're keeping an eye on. Hit it, Muse.
Here's what we're watching this football weekend.
All righty. Muse, start us off.
All right. I'm watching the Detroit Lions offense without Ben Johnson calling the plays. This will be an interesting debut for John Morton. Look, plenty of skins on the wall that got him from Denver. Spent 2 years as the passing game coordinator under Sean Payton. Had a previous stint with the Lions in 2022, but this is certainly going to be different. This is kind of the deal with Dan Campbell. It's like, okay, he hired great assistants. Now he's having to replace both of them. I'm more interested in the offensive side of the ball a little bit there because Jared Goff just kind of had a rebirth under Ben Johnson. Of course, the Packers now with Micah Parsons on the other side. Should be a really good test for Detroit right out the gate. On the road, too.
All right, Paulie, fire away.
I'm going to be watching the debut for Vikings quarterback J.J. McCarthy. So we all know McCarthy won a national championship in Michigan. He missed his rookie season with a torn meniscus. The Vikings were one of those surprising teams last year under Sam Darnold. He moved on to Seattle in the offseason, so can the Vikings repeat their success this season with McCarthy? Or do they take a step back with the young quarterback?
Hat tip to Jake Hester. I know he'll be watching the Hester household. Chiefs, Chargers. This one is Friday in Brazil. Yep. And the Chiefs have gone to 3 straight Super Bowls. Last year, the Chargers and the Broncos both made their pushes. The Raiders still suck. But is this a year that someone unseats Kansas City in that division? The Chargers, with a franchise quarterback, a rebuild offensive line, a good running game, might just be the team to do it. Chiefs are a 3-point favorite. Let's keep an eye on that division matchup Friday in Brazil.
Cy-Hawk Trophy, baby. Iowa State this Saturday. Should be a great game. Told y'all earlier in the week, I'm really impressed with Iowa State so far this year. I mean, it's early, but it feels like them and Utah in the Big 12. Rocco Beck's been fantastic. They're looking to make it 2 in a row. How about Kirk Ferentz, though, man? Yeah, they beat Albany. You can't really tell much. But if they win against Iowa State, Kirk Ferentz passes Woody Hayes for all-time wins in the Big Ten. A lot on the line. Take the under, as is tradition in this game. Should be a great one, though, between Iowa and Iowa State.
Didn't it go over last year?
It might have by like a point. It was a 1-point game in general. It was 20-19. I thought it stayed under by a half point, though.
Maybe it's where you shop. I feel like all the Iowa games, everyone was betting them under a year ago. And they all went over.
They kept going over.
They kept going over.
Yeah. Offense.
Who knew? Paulie, number 2.
I'm watching another quarterback debut, except this time will be veteran Aaron Rodgers with the Steelers. His time in New York was one to forget. Will another change of scenery work for one last Super Bowl run? You can never count out the Steelers with Mike Tomlin on sidelines. So can Rodgers turn back the clock, or has Father Time finally caught up to him?
There's always rookie head coaches in the NFL. 7 will make their debuts. Muse already briefly mentioned Ben Johnson in Chicago, but Mike Vrabel with the Patriots, Liam Cohen in Jacksonville, Pete Carroll with the Raiders. Remember that. Of course, Alan Moore in New Orleans.
Alan Moore.
The guy the Saints wanted, Aaron Glenn with the Jets. And tonight, Brian Schottenheimer makes his debut with the Dallas Cowboys as they're 8.5-point underdogs in Philly, although the number has come down now to 7.5. 7 new coaches making their NFL debuts.
Watching Cam Ward's debut. It'll be the afternoon game on Fox. He has to travel on the road to Denver, a playoff hopeful team. Obviously, Sean Payton over there with the Broncos. Doesn't normally go well for rookie quarterbacks in their debut, especially on the road. The former number 1 overall pick. Let's see what he's got.
I'm going to be watching probably the best matchup of the NFL weekend, Ravens versus Bills. Sunday Night Football. Many predict this will be the preview of the AFC Championship game. Lamar Jackson versus Josh Allen. Battle of the last 2 NFL MVPs. 2 explosive offenses against 2 hard-hitting defenses. Which one will get the leg up in the AFC?
And I'll throw out a college game for us. How about Michigan OU, since no one else had it? Probably the biggest game of the college football weekend. College game day is there. Bryce Underwood, his first test. John Mateer, the transfer from Washington State, his first real test at OU after both blew out Patsies a week ago. OU, a 5.5-point home favorite. This is a pretty good litmus test for these two teams early in the season to where they might fall with respect to each other and among the national elite. 2 historic programs, 6:30 on ABC. The Sooners are a 5.5-point favorite. Okay, there's what we're watching. We'll come back on Monday with a recap of all that. We're brought to you by Shawbills Tire and Auto Service. ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com with locations all over South Louisiana. If you want name brand tires, you want them at wholesale prices, the only place to go is Shawbills. Visit ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com. Hit the promotions tab at the top of the page, and you'll see every single promotion that they currently have right now at Shawbills. And the thing I say to you every single day, and have for years, because it's been their mantra since 1968, you come in, they're going to sell you the best tires at the cheapest price, but they're going to treat you like family. And when you get that level of customer service, especially in 2025, when it feels like it's a lost art for many, you're going to keep coming back year after year after year after year after year for all of your service. So if you need new tires, go to Shawbills, or if you need any maintenance done on your vehicle, take it to Shawbills. ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com. Shawbills, where we keep you rolling. Okay, y'all, it is after further review. Muse, Paulie, and I will give you our NFL season picks in 17 minutes. We'll pick division winners, AFC, NFC champion, and Super Bowl champion. We'll do that coming up again here in 17 minutes from right now. Tech head coach Sonny Cumbie next hour. Mike Triplett next hour. Jimmy Ott with Autolocks next hour. We are locked, loaded, ton to do. Lee Sterling with his best bets for the weekend when we come back on AFR.
After further review.
Man, if you want to feel your best, Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness can help. Yes, funny name, funny logo. I get it. It's to bring a little levity to a situation a lot of guys don't like to talk about. But we're not just talking ED. They do ED treatments. That's not all they do. Hormone replacement therapy is something that I would encourage any man or woman to at least look into. Get your blood labs drawn and see with those blood labs if you're a candidate for HRT. And I often say as well, so many times you don't know how bad you feel until you start feeling good again, because the way you feel now just becomes normal. It's just your everyday normal feeling. But if you start on HRT and it just brings you back to life, you wonder how you ever lived the way you did. At Goodwood, they have the lowest prices and never any contracts. So learn more at yourgoodwood.com, yourgoodwood.com.
104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and First American Bank and Trust bring you the Heart of the Game Award, recognizing student athletes who deliver when it counts. Nominate your game day standout at 1045ESPN.com by the 21st. We'll choose 5 male and 5 female finalists, and then it's up to the fans to vote for the winners. Each winner gets a $250 gift card, a custom award, and the spotlight they've earned. Presented by First American Bank and Trust, a banking tradition since 1910.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
River Parish Contractors has immediate openings for structural steel shop fabricators. Call or text Big Jake today at 318-547-1000 or go to rpcontractors.com and click on employment. River Parish Contractors. Let's get building.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. Propane water heaters are very cost efficient, and the savings are even greater with a tankless propane water heater. We all know that Louisiana propane is a safe and environmentally friendly fuel. So why not go green while you save some green? I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and for more information, visit louisianapropane.com.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
Place your bets, gentlemen.
It's time to head to the window.
Don't gamble it all in one place.
This is Lee Sterling's Best Bets, brought to you by Paramount Sports.
Wrapping up hour number 2, we welcome back Lee Sterling. Lee, congrats on the Canes win on Sunday night. Hell of a game there against the Fighting Irish. How are you?
I'm great. I think we're both feeling real good after last weekend. Right?
I think so, man.
Yeah.
What a way to wake up on Labor Day with LSU 1-0. It was certainly refreshing. We got a ton to dive into, so let's get going. I actually want to start, if we could, with your one NFL play because it involves the local team here with the Saints and the Cardinals. You've actually got this listed as your game of the week. Why?
Right. I just think that Saints are in trouble.
I do too.
I think they should have. I think they're going to tank. I got to be quite honest with you. Whereas the Dolphins were thinking of doing it, but the head coach, Flores, decided against it. If they were making an effort to try to win games this year, they would have gone and made a trade. These quarterbacks just are not ready. So I think Arizona is a little under the radar. How good have they been in Kyler Murray's 6 starts in week 1, 5-1 against the spread here? I think they have a receiver and a tight end that are almost unguardable unless you're playing zone and you can really mix it up. Arizona, 5-12 straight up as a favorite since 2012, but they have really, like I said, I think maybe turned the corner. They might be the dark horse. I mean, after the first 2 weeks last year, we're thinking, wow, 47-10 and 44-19 wins over Carolina and Dallas, and then the deep abyss and the quarterback injury and, the cap just killed them. So, unless they can score early, if they fall behind, they're going to be in trouble more than a touchdown. I like Arizona 30-16.
LSU's a big favorite over Louisiana Tech. You going to touch that big number?
I am, because I have a feeling here that they're playing a team that's really bad. So Louisiana Tech scored 24. Southeastern Louisiana, they threw for a mere 130 yards and ran for 132. Unless they get lucky, I can't even see them scoring here. It's an obvious letdown spot for the Tigers, who made us look foolish picking against them. But the defense look rebuilt. They were bigger, faster, stronger. If I was Dabo, I would have done what Marcus Freeman said. I got to say this. If Marcus Freeman was coaching and I had a kid, he would be top 5. He stepped to the podium and he said, you know what? Give Miami credit. They were the better team. And that's what Dabo should have said here. Yeah. I think Garrett Nussmeier is going to pad his stats with Florida on deck and then take him out 45-0.
45-0. Okay. Lee Sterling, ParamountSports.com. Speaking of Florida, that's a big number with South Florida going to the Swamp. Couple of layups for the Gators before they head to Baton Rouge. 17 and a hook. You like the Gators?
So I thought that South Florida was the right side, with Boise going cross country. Now, did I expect a 3-0 turnover advantage? Probably not. But we felt that Boise was going to be down this year, and they are. They don't have the offense. They don't have any quick strike capability. Byron Brown is a dog, but he can't do it alone. I don't love his running backs and wide receivers here. Florida won 55-0 last week, and they missed 3 field goals, the exact amount that their kicker missed last year, which is crazy. You may not ever see that again. I think Florida is going to pull away late, 41-20.
ParamountSports.com, ParamountSports.com. Another one, a couple more in the SEC that we want to touch on. Probably the only SEC game on the slate, Lee, is Ole Miss at Kentucky. Of course, the only win Kentucky had in the league a year ago was their upset in Oxford. Ole Miss, a 10-point favorite here, looking to make amends. You think they get it?
Last year's game was stunning. I remember watching the game, and they scored first, Ole Miss, and then it's like they stopped playing. Kentucky controlled the game. Do I think Kentucky is talented? Not really. But here's the problem for Ole Miss. Do you want to lay double-digit points with a quarterback that has never started a road game? I think Austin Simmons is really talented, but I tell you this right now, he can't read coverages yet. He is not at a high enough level to beat good teams. Now, can he maybe boat race Kentucky? Possibly. It could be like Kentucky, like when they played Arkansas last year and Ole Miss steamrolled them. There is a talent difference, a huge talent difference. But also Georgia State, which only scored 7 points, ran for 5.5 yards per carry last week. Georgia State's offense is so bad, they took a quarterback, your old quarterback, he was at 4 different places, TJ Finley, out of the transfer portal. I just think that Ole Miss here has more talented, but you're going to see Kentucky try to slow the pace, and this is where Kentucky does their best work. They are actually 7-3 against the spread the last 6 years as a home dog. I think Ole Miss escapes 28-24.
Okay, so we like Kentucky with the points there. A couple more, and we got a couple of minutes to do it. Border War returns. Mizzou, a 6-point favorite over the JJJJ Hawks. What do we make of Mizzou after a blowout win over a nobody?
I thought Missouri there was going to be a huge drop-off in their talent when you lose Brady Cook, Nate Noel, Luther Burden, and a bunch of other receivers. I don't see it with Bo Pearl. I think he is really good. I love the true freshman running back Davis, their receiver from Mississippi State, Kevin Coleman, and the two guys they got in the transfer portal, Wilson from Georgia at defensive end and Catalan from UNLV, really good acquisitions. I think Kansas is better than last year's team, but are they up to SEC middle-of-the-road status where Missouri is? I don't think so. Missouri, 35-27.
All right, and finally, the big one, Oklahoma and Michigan. We're going to find out a lot about John Mateer and Bryce Underwood. Boomer Sooner, 5.5, I guess, depending on where you shop.
Love John Mateer. Think he's incredible. He plays best in big games, but they can't run the football. Only 103 rushing yards on 32 carries last week versus Illinois State. That's concerning. The addition for Michigan of Justice Haynes shows you what Alabama's missing. He had almost 160 yards and 3 touchdowns. Remember this, Bryce Underwood, in my opinion, is as good as advertised. They did not run him last week, and he has that capability. I think they were holding back on the playbook. I think Michigan's offensive and defensive lines are just much better than Michigan's here. I'm going to like Michigan here. Wrong team favored, 24-21.
Lee Sterling, ParamountSports.com, ParamountSports.com. Lee, I got 10 seconds. What do people know?
Yep. Check us out, ParamountSports.com. Biggest game of the month, ParamountSports.com, or 800-400-9741.
Sorry, Lee. That hard break stab's going to get us. We appreciate it, Lee. That is Lee Sterling, ParamountSports.com, ParamountSports.com. My apologies, Lee, running him up against a hard break. That's on me. We're brought to you by Parish Construction and Roofing. ParishBuilt.com, ParishBuilt.com. Tell you every day to do business with someone you know. That's me and Terrio and Richard Tilley and our great staff over there, Joe Morales. ParishBuilt.com. Hey, I want to remind you, the Louisiana Department of Insurance, they're right now through the 12th, the window is open to apply for one of the $10,000 grants for a fortified roof. So it's open to the coastal zones and parts of southwest Louisiana. So go apply. They'll draw 500 residents for one of those $10,000 grants to fortify your roof. When you go fill out that application, you choose your contractor. We'd love it if you choose Parish Construction and Roofing. We're a certified, fortified roofing company. ParishBuilt.com.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to ParishBuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
From your hometown, ParishBuilt.com.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. It's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunnyquip.com.
While Louisiana politics can seem like they're from another planet, Moon Griffon isn't afraid to bring politicians back down to earth. Listen to the Moon Griffon Show weekday mornings at 9 on Talk 107.3.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Mornings with Brian Haldane is the only live and local talk show in the capital city. Get the news from the newsmakers, along with traffic and weather updates throughout the morning. The conversation starts weekday mornings at 6 on Talk 107.3.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. This is a big night in Philadelphia. The Eagles will unveil their second Super Bowl championship banner in 8 years and then kick off the 2025 NFL season at home versus the Cowboys. Eagles among the favorites to win another Lombardi trophy. They're a 7.5-point favorite tonight per ESPN bet. Dallas, though, can spoil the night for the defending champs, says our Harry Douglas.
They're going to have to control a lot of scrimmage on offense and defense. I'll start with the offensive side of the ball. You're going to have to run the ball. But then also you're going to have to take advantage, like we mentioned earlier, of whoever's opposite of Quinyon Mitchell. You're going to have to convert third downs. On the defensive side, if you can get the Philadelphia Eagles multiple times, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9 plus, you have basically won as a defense. Now you just got to close the deal on third down.
Days before the Raiders' season opener at New England, receiver Amari Cooper has informed the team he intends to retire. Baseball, the Mets calling up right-hander Brandon Sproat to start Sunday against the Reds, along with Nolan McClain and Jonah Tong. Sproat's the third top pitching prospect called up by New York this month to bolster its scuffling starting rotation. Mets currently have the final and a wild card spot.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. At Progressive, we offer auto, home, and commercial auto insurance, plus a variety of business insurance options to cover your small business needs and more. Visit Progressive.com today.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from downtown Baton Rouge.
Let's ride!
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing in Baton Rouge. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
You so. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you are driving home with us. Sonny Cumbie, head coach of the Louisiana Tech Bulldogs. He'll be with us here in 13 minutes from right now. Mike Triplett will be with us at the bottom of this hour. We'll talk some Saints. If you missed the news, Chase Young did not practice today with that calf injury. It's not expected to be long-term, but the Saints did add another defensive end signed to the practice squad today. Very likely depth in the event that Chase Young is unable to go. So we'll see. We'll know much more, of course, on Friday when the Friday injury report is out, if Young is out there or if he'll be unavailable for the Saints on Sunday as they open up the season against the Arizona Cardinals. So the NFL season kicks off here. Can we get a countdown? Maybe we'll get like the TV on ESPN or something. Get a countdown. We are 2 hours and 17 minutes away from the 2025 NFL season kicking off. So every year, Muse, Paulie, and I, when a new season starts, we go around the room, we give you our preseason picks. When the season ends, we'll circle back, and we'll tell you how dumb we are. We're getting close to being able to do that for the Major League Baseball season. I think I went Dodgers. I forgot. I think I went total chalk in this one.
I don't think we ever did our picks for baseball.
We didn't do baseball?
We didn't do baseball this year, yeah.
Oh, no.
I think we had it on the rundown when Terry was here, and we just never did it.
And then he yard sailed the segment or something like that, and we just never did it, yeah.
And we never circled back to it.
I guess not. I don't think, because I don't remember doing it.
Oh, except for this year's baseball, we always go and give you our preseason picks, and then we circle back at the end of the year and tell you how we did. Like last year, I had the Cincinnati Bengals winning the Super Bowl, and they didn't make the playoffs. Who tanked in Week 18 to make sure they got left out?
Oh, gosh, who was it? Oh, it was the Chiefs.
Was it Denver?
It was the Chiefs.
Because they played Denver.
Yeah.
And Denver got in.
Yeah.
Screw you, Kansas City. That's right, because they were scared of Joey B.
They want to play Joey B again.
All right, Muse, give me my music. Let's dive into this. Here's what we're going to do. We got 8 division winners. We're not picking wildcard teams. We're just picking division winners. We're picking conference champions and a Super Bowl champion. Let's start in the NFC. Because tonight, the NFL season kicks off with the defending champs in the NFC East, the Philadelphia Eagles, the Dallas Cowboys. We'll start with the NFC East. Muse, you have the honors?
Yeah, Eagles. I'm going to take the Philadelphia Eagles in that one.
They're pretty good. Paulie, are we chalk here all on the Eagles?
Yeah, I'm also going with the Eagles.
All right,
this
so we're
feels
going
like
with
a no-brainer.
Okay. So the Philadelphia Eagles, by the way, at DraftKings, they are minus 145 to win the division. No consideration at all for Jaden Daniels here? That's not a gigantic number.
No, I mean, I think the Commanders finished second. I kind of do want to see.
Way to go on a limb, Muse.
I kind of do want to see the running game without
You're gonna pick the Giants?
without Brian Robinson.
They had Deebo Samuel.
I know.
And that's going to be a thing that I think could be a huge differentiator. I'm more concerned, does Jaden have a sophomore slump? We all love Jaden Daniels. He's awesome. But is there a sophomore slump? That's the one reason I didn't. There was a point late in the year last year where they had a legit shot because they had beaten Philly of making a run to go win that division. West.
The NFC West. Yeah, that one, man, I'm going to go with the Rams. I don't have a lot of confidence in that. I know Stafford's been hurt. It looks like he's going to give it a go. I don't know what the 49ers are, and I don't think the Seahawks or Cardinals are very good. So I'm going to go with the Rams.
Paulie?
I'm going to go with the 49ers. I think Brock Purdy takes a step forward. I don't think Seattle is going to be as good with Sam Darnold. I do think Arizona improves, and I think Stafford does have one last run with the Rams, but I'm going to go with the Niners.
Stafford hadn't participated all offseason. I don't think he makes it through the year. There's no way I'm going with the Rams at all. I'm worried about San Fran not having Deebo Samuel because he's so explosive. I think this is the year. If Arizona is going to, it's not Seattle. If this is a year where if Arizona could make a move, this could be the year that they do it. I'm going to lean with San Fran because I think they still have the better roster and they are more stable at quarterback because I don't quite know what Kyler Murray is. But if San Francisco's healthy, they should win the division. I am not in any way a believer in the Rams this year. I think that's going to be a disaster in L.A. The NFC North.
NFC North, I am going with the Green Bay Packers in the NFC North. I very much have doubts about Dan Campbell replacing both of his coordinators. That worries me. The Packers were a playoff team a year ago. They add Micah Parsons. I like Jordan Love. Give me Green Bay.
They're the betting favorite, by the way, to win the division. Paulie?
I'm torn between the Packers and the Lions as well.
You got to make a pick.
I'm going to go with...
It's a rule.
I'll go with the Lions. I think the coordinators definitely cause a problem, but I think they can handle it.
New defensive coordinator Kelvin Shepard is telling you to know your role and shut your mouth, Paul O'Neill. Give me the damn Detroit Lions and the war daddy Kelvin Shepard, who is a badass at LSU and is going to have that Detroit Lion defense playing with their hair on fire. Give me the Lions to win that division. South.
Yeah, Tampa Bay.
I'm going with No, I'm not. I'm going with Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
If anybody had a quarterback.
I know.
If anybody had a quarterback. Like, Tampa's not good, but they got a quarterback.
Yeah.
Is Bryce Young good?
Huh?
Maybe. Is Michael Penix good? Maybe. Is Spencer? No.
Maybe.
No, he's not good. Tampa, yeah. All right, kick it over to the AFC. We'll start on the AFC East. Muse, who you got AFC? Are we all Buffalo?
Buffalo
this
Bills,
is the easy
Buffalo.
one. Like,
Buffalo
there's
Bills.
Miami might be tanking. New England's in a complete and total rebuild. There's just no. I mean, the Jets are the Jets. Like, this is Buffalo. I don't think we even need to. What is the line? The Bills are minus 330. The next closest odds are the Patriots at plus 475, Dolphins plus 950, Jets plus 2200.
I mean, I don't believe in the Dolphins either, but Patriots, that's crazy.
Bro.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's got to be the biggest. They have to be the biggest favorite in the division. They have to be.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's what it used to look like with New England in the NFC East for years. Like, it's Brady and then the other three whoever's and whatever they're going to do. All right, so we're all Buffalo. The NFC West. Does somebody step up?
You mean the AFC West?
I'm sorry, the AFC West. Yes, thank you. Does someone step up and dethrone the Chiefs?
Maybe, but until I see it, I'm picking Kansas City.
Okay.
They've earned the benefit of the doubt there.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I can't pick against Kansas City in that division.
Cowards! Both of you are cowards.
We're going Sean Payton here?
Both of you are cowards. Jim Harbaugh out there making the playoffs in year one, got a legit franchise quarterback. Sean Payton turning Bo Nix into a legitimate NFL quarterback?
Maybe.
I don't know, dog. He looked damn good last year. The Las Vegas Raiders, Pete Carroll's won a Super Bowl.
They got Amari Cooper. Oh, wait.
He retired.
He retired
You
today.
cowards? You go with Fat Andy Reid?
Yeah.
And Jake from State Farm? Commercial guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Give me the Chiefs.
Yeah.
All right. I'll take the Chiefs. In the North. Yes, AFC North.
I want to do it so bad. I just don't trust their defense enough yet, man. I got to go with the Ravens.
Paulie?
I agree. I think the Ravens are the more complete team. I'm going with the Ravens.
Cowards!
Yeah.
Joe Burrow was the best player in the NFL last year. And despite the start, where they did have a freaking, by the way, they lost to the Ravens by a toe. You remember a literal toe in week one? You got a toe. And they only missed the playoffs because the Chiefs were so damn scared of them, they tanked to keep Joe Burrow and the Bengals out. Joe Burrow, Bengals, division winners in the AFC North. Book it, cowards. Lamar Jackson stole his MVP last year. Burrow's winning it this year. AFC South.
This one was actually tough for me. I'm going to go with the Jaguars, though. I love the Texans' defense. I think C.J. Stroud's really good, but it feels kind of like now or never with Jacksonville. They've definitely got the talent, so I'm going to go with the Jaguars to get it done close in that division.
Paulie?
I don't think it is close. I'm going with Houston.
Why don't you think it's close?
I just feel like they've got more weapons. I don't trust Tennessee. Definitely don't trust Indianapolis. I think Jaguars will be better, but I'm going with Houston.
Jacksonville has the 6th easiest schedule in the NFL this year. They have a quarterback. Respect to C.J. Stroud, but he had a sophomore slump. That's what I worry about with Jaden. C.J. Stroud was so awesome as a rookie. Sophomore slump. I worry about that with Jaden. I don't think this is hard. I'm taking Jacksonville to win the division and make the playoffs. Year one there under Liam Cohen. Work some magic. Okay. Oh, God. We got to get to Sonny Cumbie.
Yeah.
All right. AFC champ Muse.
AFC champ, I'm going to go with the Buffalo Bills.
NFC champ Muse.
I'm going to go with the Philadelphia Eagles.
All right. Bills, Eagles. Paulie.
I'm going to go Bills and Packers.
Hey!
All right. You know where I'm going.
Yeah.
Because I yelled loudly about two teams and called you two cowards. Cincinnati, Detroit. The Super Bowl that NFL executives are dreading with two crappy markets. Cincinnati, Detroit in the Super Bowl. Who's the Super Bowl champion, Muse?
I'm going to go with the Bills.
Paulie.
I am also going to go with the Buffalo Bills.
Joe Burrow. 9. Let him hang to the ground. He gets it done this year. Wins the division, wins the MVP, wins the Super Bowl. Cincinnati Bengals, Super Bowl champions. Print the shirts. It's AFR. Sonny Cumbie's next.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Clegg's Nursery with 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. Seagan near Airline, LA 16, and Denham Mid-City on Don Moore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. Tell you every single day to buy local and shop local with our friends over at Clegg's Nursery. They got everything. Y'all, the season's starting to change. I get it. It's 92 degrees outside, but it's September. It's September. It's time to get those vegetable gardens, the vegetable seeds in the ground, your fall bedding plants in the ground, those fall colors. Before you know it, it's going to be October. We're going to be looking at Halloween and then the holidays right after that. It is time to start thinking and transitioning your outdoor spaces for fall. All the earth tones, the greens, the oranges, the browns, beautiful selection over at Clegg's Nursery. And if you're a deer hunter, remember Mobucks, Buckbusters, Rice Brand deer corn, it's at Clegg's Nursery. Buy local, shop local at Clegg's Nursery.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
When it comes to pipe fabrication, time is money. And at River Parish Contractors, we make every second count. Our 36,000 square foot shop is ready to take on your projects right now. With experienced welders, precise fittings, and fast turnarounds you can trust. Whether it's a single custom spool or a full-scale run, we have the capacity and the skill to keep your job on schedule. Call us or visit rpcontractors.com for your quote. That's rpcontractors.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $22,500 off MSRP on the brand new 2025 Ram 1500 Laramie with $22,500 off MSRP with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Baton Rouge's home for real rock. It's Eagle 98.1. Foo Fighters. Led Zeppelin. AC/DC. Pearl Jam. And the flagship home for LSU sports. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. Eagle 98.1 is the rock station.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Tiger Country is 100.7 The Tiger. In the car on 100.7 FM or on the 100.7 The Tiger.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
LSU home opener Saturday, Louisiana Tech coming down from Ruston. Sonny Cumbie in his 4th season there leading the Bulldogs, and coach is good enough to spend a few minutes with us here on game week. Always appreciate the time, especially in a very busy time. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing well, Matt. No, it's glad to be on with you guys.
No, it's our pleasure. 24-0 win, season opener against Southeastern. What'd you learn about your team?
Well, I was really impressed defensively how we played. Picking up from where we left off last season. Felt really good about our linebackers, safeties, and corners. I think the D-line was a little bit of a work in progress just in terms of the personnel. I think we have some good players there. It's just a matter of who's going to really assert themselves at that position. And so was proud of how they played defensively. We were able to 3 takeaways, a scoop and score, and any time that you hold a team, to a shutout, it's a great effort, and you're really proud of that. I think special teams, I was really pleased with how our guys play on special teams. I think our guys handled themselves really well in the return game. Dedrick Latulis did a great job, and really in the returns, whether he was able to hit, but also in the field position, he was able to save by fielding punts, and he did a great job of it. And then offensively, we got off to a really slow start on offense. Really hit our rhythm, the end of the first half, and then into the third quarter. We were able to play with some tempo and move the ball well, and it really got to really pick up there on offense. But I think there's so many unknowns in the first game. I mean, gosh, you're dealing with so many new players with new coaches on each side, and then your part of you is like you don't know who's showing up for them also, just because there is so much roster turnover for everyone. And so to be able to get your first win at home, and to get our guys and our season off on the right foot was big.
Yeah, it's always interesting because you go through your month of fall camp and you think you know certain things about your team based on what you see, but you can't either confirm or disconfirm it till you play a game. Was there something that didn't go the way you thought it would?
Yeah, you're right on that, because you're always balancing during fall camp. Is it good offense? Is it bad defense? Is it good defense? Is it bad offense? Like, you're trying to figure out, when one side dominates a period or has success. And typically when you have a really good back and forth practice consistently, you feel pretty good about both sides. I remember in 2014, our spring game at TCU, my first year there as the co-coordinator, and we get shut out in our spring game. And so we felt pretty poor. We felt like this, and they're coming off a 4-8 season, so we didn't feel very good about it. But lo and behold, we had, one of the top defenses in the country, and then we had one of the top offenses also. So trying to gauge what you have coming out of fall camp is really hard. I expected us to really be in rhythm a little bit more on offense early on. I think starting out, I expected us to play a little better on that side of the ball than what we did. But I think that we learned a lot, from that process, and Trey was able to get his feet wet at quarterback. And so, we got a huge challenge this week, but, the expectation is on our improvement and how much better we can play on that side of the ball.
Yeah, that 2014 team, of course, beat Ole Miss in the Peach Bowl, as you recall. When you were at TCU and then obviously as a player at Texas Tech, the hallmark was these wide-open offenses that could sling it and throw it a bunch. And Tony Franklin has taken over fully play-calling duties, and you tell me if I'm wrong, but he's a guy that sort of wants to run first. What's that like for you, sort of seeding that completely and also maybe philosophically a little bit different?
Yeah, Matt, I spent a lot of time down on the offensive scout team, especially this week. I try to help those guys out. Anyway, no, it's good for me to do that though, and help those young quarterbacks and run those cards and do that. But no, it's Coach Franklin's done a phenomenal job here before. He has done a great job here during spring and fall camp, and it is a little bit different. Yeah, it is. The mindset is a little bit more run, a little bit more RPO, and there's still the base, air raid concepts that are built into what we do on offense. But that part has been a little bit different. But I think part of it is there's clarity for the guys up front, in terms of what we want to do, and trying to create an offensive line that plays with physicality and moves people off the ball. And so some of that is a little bit different. And but the thing I think I really like about Tony is his ability to adapt to the personnel. And if we have a running quarterback, then that's going to be something what we do. If we've got a kid that can really throw it and take care of the ball and is explosive with his arm, then we're going to be able to do that. And so I think that he's well versed in all of it, but that is kind of at the core of what he wants to do.
Sonny Cumbie is our guest. You mentioned the quarterback, Trey Kukuk, who is, correct me if I'm wrong, the JUCO background, a guy that I just don't know a whole lot about. For the fan that's going to be in Tiger Stadium watching the game on Saturday, that's going to get their first look at your quarterback, what can you tell us?
Yeah, he's a junior college kid from Southern California. Played at Saddleback College for 2 seasons there, and it was really they won a ton of football games there when he was there. He's really competitive, can make plays with his feet. He's probably not one of those guys in a 7-on-7 or you come to watch his practice in terms of throwing the ball that you're just blown away, in terms of his arm strength, but he's very accurate. He's smart when he throws the football. He puts it in really tight windows. He's able to do that in terms of anticipation and timing, and he's a competitive kid. And I think in our league, you got a guy that can make plays with his feet. He's competitive. He's tough. I think that your team really gravitates towards that type of player at quarterback, and And, we're going to need him to make plays, certainly, Saturday, but also, throughout the course of our season in Conference USA play with his legs and his feet.
Well, another guy that's a transfer that people here know well, of course, is Colby Fields from New Orleans, started at South Carolina, played at LSU, and now has been at Tech. He was a preseason conference defensive player of the year. What has worked so well to allow him to blossom the way he has there in Ruston?
Well, I think a lot of it starts with the makeup, and I think as everybody goes through different times in their life and things that went well and things that maybe didn't go well and things, maybe the mistakes they've made and things they've learned from. And, and I think he's came here and he's a mature kid. And the thing that and I think it's really, I think there's so many, I love, being able to recruit the state of Louisiana because the kid's passion for football and the kid's passion for playing and practicing football is just so high. He loves the game. It's been a great, really relationship that we've had with him. And I love the kid. I mean, he's got unbelievable football instincts. He can really diagnose a play before it's going to happen. I think he has, just ability with his body to try to get in between blocks up front, and he shoots gaps really well. And, I think that he's matured a lot in his football journey. We've loved him up here. It was the last year that the NCAA enforced any type of rules in terms of waivers.
Right.
It was the year he had to sit out.
Yep.
And then right after the year, but I'll tell you, and how he handled that. I mean, he was a coach on the sideline. He was a scout team running back. He was a scout team receiver, linebacker, whatever we needed, he did. And I think the success that he's had last year and he's going to have this year, he's very deserving. And he's put a lot of work in and he's overcome, and he's a talented kid too.
Yeah. Got a couple more for you. Obviously, your time very, very much appreciated on a game week. We just talked about 2 transfers there, and you're in a position where obviously in the G5, or I guess G6 now, however they define it, but there's just so much turnover because you see guys enter the portal every year to try to go Power 4 after that. What is the challenge like? Can you define for the listener, the viewer, what that challenge is like building and maintaining a roster right now?
Yeah, the defining it is man, you pour I love this game because of the relationships and the people that it brings you across. The competitive part of it, the X's and O's, yes, but I thrive on people and relationships, and so you pour a lot into that. And getting a kid to come here, investing a kid here, and to develop a kid, and to get him, better on the field and academically and all those things, and then he leaves you, and it's when it first started happening. I mean, it was, you took it so personal. I think for you as a coach, you have to reorient your mind about the landscape and about how things are, and let's make the best football team that we can for one season, and let's do everything we can to build chemistry, camaraderie, toughness. Obviously a high level of talent, so where you can have a chance to win your conference and pour everything you can into that. And then, hopefully, as I read today, hopefully there'll be one portal window. And then you'll know after that who your football team is, and you do it all over again. And the guys that leave your doors, man, you love them when they're here. And there's always going to be somebody else that's coming through that door that's going to need us to pour into them and to teach them and to build a team for a year. And so I think the thing that I was encouraged with, I hope that painting a picture of it in terms of you build a relationship, and you always know in the back of your mind that it may happen. But I think the rhetoric for us this spring was our kids and our difference makers and playmakers were why would we leave? We like what's going on here. We like the culture. We've grown a lot as a program, and we're being able to take care of them in a means that they feel is good for them, and so they stayed. And so I think there's a little bit of the sexiness of it, of hey, going Power 4, getting a lot of money, and then being a first round pick. That's really not all the guys that are leaving. That's kind of a minority of it. And I think more of the stories about, man, I'm going somewhere, I'm getting a little bit of money, but I'm not playing. I would rather play and be taken care of. I think some of that's helped us, but it's a challenge. But I think you build your best football team you can for one season, and you pour all of your eggs into that basket, not forsaking the future in terms of recruiting, because you still want to recruit the high school ranks. And I think we've been able to sign some really good high school players because the focus for other schools might be on the portal.
Before you go, the opportunity to play in Baton Rouge this weekend, both for this team and for your program, what does it mean?
Well, for this team, it's an unbelievable opportunity. It's a challenge. They're excited about it. The obvious in terms of, LSU is just coming off of a dominant performance against a really good team. They're a great opponent, really, at every position, every side of the ball. But our kids, they're excited about it. There's going to be a lot of their families. They're going to be there. They grew up playing with a lot of these kids, whether it's through high school or, even before that. They know these kids well and are friends with them. And so I think there's a large contingent of Louisiana Tech, fan base in Baton Rouge, and so it'll be good to be there in front of them. And I think our focus is the improvement from one week to the next, and we've got to find those areas that we didn't perform as well in, and we've got to get better. And that's what I think our kids have done, up to this point this week. We'll have a Fast Friday tomorrow and then an opportunity Saturday night to do it in front of just an incredible environment.
He is Sonny Cumbie, fourth season as the head coach at Louisiana Tech. They'll be in Tiger Stadium Saturday night. Look, I know it's a busy week. Can't thank you enough for taking a couple of minutes, man. Thank you.
No, I appreciate you having me on, Matt.
Of course. Safe travels. Good luck on Saturday. That is Sonny Cumbie. It is After Further Review. We're brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020, 924-2020, or williamsoneye.com. That's williamsoneye.com for the Williamson Eye Center. Two things to remind you about. One, of course, make sure that you get your kiddos scheduled for their annual eye exams. If you've not done that yet, you could do it. They got Williamson Eye Center locations all over Greater Baton Rouge, down to Lutcher in the River Parishes, up to St. Francisville, Zachary. You can schedule online at williamsoneye.com, williamsoneye.com. And also the Williamson Eye Center is presenting sponsor of this year's Federalis Fest, the third annual. It's happening on October the 4th at Live Oak at Cedar Lodge. It's in its third year, presented by the Williamson Eye Center. Some great local music. You can get tickets or learn more at federalisfest.com, federalisfest.com, presented by the Williamson Eye Center. All right, it's After Further Review. Our Thursday shows are presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing in Baton Rouge. We're not going to break. Mike Triplett's going to join us next. Two starters, Trevor Penning, Chase Young, missed practice on Thursday. What does it mean for their ability against Arizona on Sunday? We'll dive into it with Mike Triplett next.
AFR.
Businesses like yours are the soul of our community. You deserve someone who'll deliver the internet services you deserve. That's why local businesses rely on Rev Business, 90 years of building connections. Visit us at letsrev.biz.
I'm Gabrielle McLeod on behalf of the Louisiana Propane Dealers. I have spent hundreds of hours preparing for scholarship competitions. That preparation paid off when I won the Fitness and Talent Awards along with the title of Miss Louisiana. The Louisiana Propane Dealers are also pretty talented and want you to be prepared for when the power goes out. Visit louisianapropane.com to find out about propane generators and other safety tips. Louisiana Propane, it truly is the fuel for our future.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, They've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
Mike! Yeah?
New Orleans Saints coverage with some Mad Libs mixed in.
Why don't you just go by Mike?
It's time to talk black and gold with Mike Triplett of New Orleans Football. Presented by Benny's Car Wash. Family owned and operated since 1951.
Week 1 is here. Saints host the Cardinals. We welcome back Mike Triplett of New Orleans Football. How are you, man?
Good. How are you?
I'm actually doing awesome. I'm pretty excited.
Oh, okay.
I am. I'm excited for the NFL to start, and I'm really excited about a new era of Saints football. Before we talk about this weekend, Mike, realistically, what expectation should I or anyone have for this team?
I think games like this, where you're not playing the elite of the elite NFL teams, there's no at Baltimore on the schedule. There isn't at Buffalo on the schedule. So some of those games are just going to be outclassed. But in a game like this, as long as they can keep as much of their starting 22 on the field as possible, I think it's okay to let yourself hope they can be competitive. They're going to lose more often than they win. But there is some talent littered throughout, the starting 22 when healthy. They're paper thin. Almost any starter they lose in any position group, they drop off super quick. They got no safety net. But, the coverage is not completely there. I'm interested to see how Spencer Rattler looks when he has Olave and Shaheed and the new receivers and the offensive line intact with Eric McCoy and the first-round picks at tackle. I'm going to pick the Cardinals to win this game, but, it's a team that, might punch a little above the weight class of everyone picking them to finish 32nd in the NFL. That's the best I can give you.
Okay. You mentioned so long as they stay healthy, which injuries just decimated this team a year ago.
They will happen, yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to predict, but injuries happen to everybody. There's two we got to talk about right now with Trevor Penning and Chase Young. What can you tell us?
Well, not looking good for either one of them playing this week, and that's a real blow with Chase Young because he was one of the guys I was more excited to see. And part of the reason I was excited to see him is because he had the first fully healthy offseason he's had since his rookie year, which was a great rookie year, and then he's dealt with injuries his whole career. And I thought maybe this is what he needs now. He talked today. He's downplaying the significance from what we've heard behind the scenes. It's not going to linger. It's not going to be a big thing, but it could definitely threaten to keep him off the field this week. And that's a shame because I think the pass rush is one of the Saints' biggest weaknesses, and he's their best pass rusher. So can't sugarcoat how much that one means. Penning, I was really interested in seeing him play too. I think he had really taken to this new position. I think there was every indication that this might have been the best fit for him yet. I don't know that there's a huge drop-off from him to Dylan Radins. Not one that moves the line in this game or anything like that, but it's a shame because there was finally a lot of optimism surrounding Trevor Penning. But yeah, Alontae Taylor was another one who came into the week as a question mark. It looks promising for him, and he's really important too, because if Arizona's going to have one big mismatch, it's going to be guys like Marvin Harrison and Trey McBride against their secondary.
If Chase Young, Trevor Penning can't go, who gets those reps?
Dylan Radin's at left guard, for sure, the veteran who had been a starter with the Titans. He didn't look great in the preseason, but they were moving him around at multiple positions. Left guard is comfortable for him. I would expect at least serviceable there. And then defensive end, obviously you get more Cam Jordan than you otherwise would have if he was third in the rotation. And then Chris Rumpf, veteran who came over and followed Brandon Staley after he'd been a draft pick of his with the Chargers. So, some options, but you'd much rather have Chase Young out there.
No doubt. He's on Twitter at Mike Triplett, NewOrleans.football. Our chats all throughout the season on these Thursdays are presented by Benny's Car Wash, as they have been for several years now. Remember, you wash every day, unlimited for $17.99, courtesy of Benny's Car Wash. Learn more at bennyscarwash.com. I was asked this earlier today, Mike, and I didn't really have a good answer. What are you expecting from Alvin Kamara this year?
Heavy volume, probably, similar to what we saw from him last year, relying on him as much as they possibly can. And look, this is a coach and a scheme that's going to want to try to rely on the run game as much as it can to keep games close, to protect the quarterback, keep the other team off the field. And then if that goes awry and they have to start passing the ball to catch up, well, how important Alvin is to the passing game. So I think they're high on Kendre Miller and the things they saw from him, but he is just a change of pace option, backup, emergency option. It's going to be all Alvin is going to be as much of an, every down type of back as you're going to see in the league.
Who do you think, as you've no doubt started to dive into this matchup Sunday with Arizona, is there a matchup for the Saints offensively that you think is paramount that they be successful?
The Saints offense, you're saying, against their defense?
Yeah, against the Arizona defense.
Yeah, look, they got one of the smarter safeties in the league in Budda Baker, who, and frankly, is Jonathan Gannon, the head coach. I mean, it's a deceptive, disguising defense. They're going to try to fool Spencer Rattler, change things up at the line of scrimmage, move around, play robber against him. So that's the obvious matchup. I think the Saints will be able to run the ball. If they can't, they're in big, big trouble.
If you flip it over to the other side, do the Saints have an advantage anywhere with their defense against Arizona's offense?
The one thing I am most positive on with the Saints this year, at least from an improving standpoint, is I think they're going to have a pretty good run defense, or a good enough run defense at least. I think Devon Gaucho was a terrific addition. I think this scheme is built to be pretty good against the run. I don't think, now how that will translate against Kyler Murray. You still got to be disciplined in your rush lanes. You can't be over-aggressive and leave wide openings for him. But if Arizona's trying to establish a run with James Conner, I think the Saints are going to hold their own in that department.
If this game goes New Orleans' way, and Mike, there were so many guys we just didn't even see during camp or the preseason. Justin Reed comes to mind. There was guys, you mentioned Godshaw. So it's going to be different. The team we see out there against Arizona is going to be different than the team we've seen for the last month in whatever, exhibitions it's looked like. But, if there is a path for the Saints to win this game, what do you think that looks like?
Well, I think there's a couple of things that could derail that path. I think they need to make sure, I mentioned their names earlier, or I mentioned the secondary being something Arizona could potentially pick on. Kool-Aid McKinstry has to show up. Alante Taylor has to look like himself, even though he missed all 3 preseason games. Because I feel like Marvin Harrison is going to remind everyone why he was the no-brainer top 5 draft pick last year, even though he didn't have the season that the LSU guys had, Neighbors and Brian Thomas. He could take the top off them right away. Trey McBride is probably the most explosive tight end in the league now. They cannot let Arizona have anything cheap and easy and free. No pick sixes. Try not to turn it over. Try not to give up those 60, 70, 80-yard explosive touchdowns. Make Arizona work for everything they do. And then, I think Kellen Moore can put together a smart game plan. I think they're going to constantly want to be in 2nd and 5, 3rd and 1. They are going to want to be in advantageous positions, and they can do that as long as they don't give Arizona freebies and find themselves down quick.
Mike Triplett, NewOrleans.football. Of course, you can read about it there. Catch all their content at NewOrleans.football. He's on Twitter at Mike Triplett, and our conversations all throughout this year are brought to you by Benny's Car Wash. You can learn more about all their great deals and packages at bennyscarwash.com, bennyscarwash.com. Mike, we appreciate it, man. I'm looking forward to doing this all throughout the year again. Thanks for the time.
All right. Thanks for having me.
It's our pleasure. That's Mike Triplett. It's AFR. We're brought to you by South Point Volkswagen. By the way, I drive my Volkswagen from South Point Volkswagen through the car wash at Benny's Car Wash quite often because I am a club member at Benny's, and I drive a Volkswagen that I got at South Point Volkswagen. Airline just north of Highland or southpointvw.com, southpointvw.com. It's South Point Volkswagen. Great deals, as always, as Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer. Remember, because they move more inventory, they sell more volume, they can give you better deals, and they got a better selection. If they don't have the exact vehicle you're looking for with the color or the exact features you want, they'll find it. They did that for Erica. She wanted a white Volkswagen Atlas with the SE with all the features in it, and she wanted like the blacked out rims. Whatever. But I mean, that's what she wanted. So they found it for her, and that's what she drives. Got it from South Point Volkswagen. Airline just north of Highland or southpointvw.com. South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction? All right, well, now I got our final break of the show. Jimmy will be here for Otter Locks. No doubt he'll give us a pick on tonight's game with the Cowboys and the Eagles kicking off the NFL season here in less than 2 hours. Y'all fired up for it. Our Thursday show is presented by Decision Critical. We'll wrap it up next on AFR.
AFR.
Man, it's always my pleasure to tell you about Duplessis Builders and Derek Duplessis and the great team over there because, man, whenever I have the opportunity to go to bat for and endorse not only companies that provide a great service, but they're great people, it just, it's a pleasure to be able to do that. And that's what you get with Duplessis Builders. Derek's a local guy from the greater Baton Rouge area, went to LSU, graduated mechanical engineering with a minor in aerospace engineering, was working as an engineer. His sister asked him, was going to build a pool. He said, I think I can do this. Built her pool that first year, built 6 pools. The next year, he built 60 pools, and off they go. And now they're a top 50 pool builder in the country, according to Pool and Spa Magazine. And they're going to build you a great pool. They're going to give you the 10-year workmanship warranty. They do great NIL deals with Tiger players. But, man, Derek's a great dude, too. They're going to treat you right throughout the process. DuplessisBuilders.net.
104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and First American Bank and Trust bring you the Heart of the Game Award, recognizing student athletes who deliver when it counts. Nominate your game day standout at 1045ESPN.com by the 21st. We'll choose 5 male and 5 female finalists, and then it's up to the fans to vote for the winners. Each winner gets a $250 gift card, a custom award, and the spotlight they've earned. Presented by First American Bank and Trust, a banking tradition since 1910.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here. We eat out here. We watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
Down the stretch we come. Final segment here on this Thursday edition of AFR. Always appreciate Blasia and the great team over at Decision Critical was over there earlier today. Whether it's from bringing home a newborn to end-of-life care, everything in between. Maybe you're caring for an elderly parent. Maybe you need postpartum care so you can sleep as your infant is coming home for the first time. They're professional nurses. I can say, and they're only the best at Decision Critical. There's so many nurses. I was talking to Blaise earlier today that just they have a waiting list of nurses that want to work at Decision Critical because they know it's just the best. So if you want the best care, Decision Critical Concierge Nursing in Baton Rouge. Therapeutic phlebotomy, if you're on HRT and you need to give blood regularly, they can do that in your home, in your office. They come to you. If you want the IV hydration therapy, they can come to you and give you an IV. Great way to pregame before you go tailgate. Decision Critical Concierge Nursing in Baton Rouge. DecisionCriticalBR.com. DecisionCriticalBR.com. All right, one thing left to do. Find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks.
All right, time to win some money.
Presented by Total Maintenance AC Repair. Same-day service means you will never sleep hot. 480-1000. We are Total Maintenance.
I think it's safe to say that I won the bet.
Otter, how are you?
Doing good, Matt. How about you? A little football tonight, baby. Thursday night football.
Let's go, man. Yeah, no college game because of the NFL opener, but fired up about this one, man. The Eagles and the well, no, we got to change this on. Someone put on Autolocks, they have Eagles Chargers on the website. Come on, guys.
Right. Jesus. Because I'm not crazy about laying 8.5. I don't like Dallas. I don't like the game. I mean, I was ready to lay.
Oh, it's a teaser. It is the Chargers. I thought they missed. I thought instead of Cowboys they put Chargers. Sorry, it's a teaser. I see it. Got it. Okay, never mind. Sorry.
So it's kind of a square play, no doubt about it. We had Colucci on. He said they're drowned with money line and teaser money on Philly. But I got to go the same route, man. I'm going to tease it down to 2.5. I'm going to put it, we're not going to string it out all the way till Sunday. So we'll tease it with the Chargers tomorrow, +9 against the Chiefs, the YouTube game that you can watch over at the Queen tomorrow night. So Eagles and Chargers, 6-point teaser in that one. So, I mean, you put me, gun to the head. I got to pick a game. I'll take the point, tonight. But I do not like Dallas tonight. And I can't lay 8.5. So take the win in doubt. Take the point. So, but we're going to go with Philly Chargers teaser. Chargers teaser. We're going to go Paul Skeens tonight. The Pirates are looking for a sweep. Well, Dodgers don't have to win because the Padres can't win either. So they get swept at home by the Orioles. But Skeens, man, how about the Pirates are hitting better? We talked about it. We took Kershaw, and he got hit hard on Tuesday night. We lost that one. But now Pittsburgh, after they had won this series, have won 5 series in a row. That's unusual for a last-place team. So Skeens well on his way. I don't have a score right now. They got underway about 10 minutes ago.
It is, I got it for you. It's no score, bottom of the first, runner on first.
There we go. Let's go. 2-run shot. Let's go. White Sox are another team that's playing way above their overall record. I mean, for most of the season, the Rockies were the worst. The White Sox are probably second worst. But they got a little youth going right now. It's one of those teams that is still coming to the park playing hard. They're about low value here, plus 124 at Minnesota. So Minnesota was a lot of people's favorite to win the American League Central. They has been a disappointment. A little bit more upbeat dugout for the White Sox is proven in the early games of that series. We go with the White Sox plus 24.
All right, so an NFL teaser. So Eagles minus 2.5, and the Chargers plus 9 on the teaser. And then in Major League Baseball, the Pirates and the White Sox are the 3 plays. Football Friday starting at 10 o'clock tomorrow.
Yes, indeed. 10 a.m. Richard Dixon. Boy, Charlie and Richard did a really good job on their film breakdown, their film study.
Yeah.
On their podcast. So really good stuff. And especially early in the season, it's really good to look at that stuff and kind of see what LSU's doing. The last play was a beautiful design to free up Perkins for a one-on-one. Nick Boy, he thought he had a lot more room than that. I can tell you that. And they really do a good job of breaking it down. We'll have that at 10 o'clock. 11 o'clock, we got Chris Macero, we got Troy Macker, we got Bruce Marshall, we got our picks, and we'll recap them all from the entire week at the end of the show.
1 minute remaining.
All right, Otter, we appreciate it. Good luck tonight. Thank you.
All right, Matt, good luck.
All right, we're brought to you by Parish Restoration, parishrestoration.com. Kill mold, remove odor, spray that patented non-toxic dry fog treatment. By the way, Parish Restoration will service the entire state of Louisiana, points outside of Louisiana. So if you have mold, think you might, check them out online at parishrestoration.com. It's not just a Baton Rouge company. They do a ton of business. They do a ton of dry fogging in New Orleans. Parishrestoration.com, parishrestoration.com. Kill mold, remove odor, other harmful pathogens, sanitization. It's parishrestoration.com. Yeah, man, what a giant show today. Bill Connelly, Lee Sterling, Sonny Cumbie, Mike Triplett. Otter will have all of the picks for the weekend at LouisianaSports.net as well for all of your college and your NFL plays over the weekend. So make sure you get them there at LouisianaSports.net. Have a great night. See you tomorrow at 3.
After further review.
As we get on down the road, I get to remind you about our friends at Our Lady of the Lake, Championship Health Partner of LSU Athletics. As they say, Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, together we roar. And yes, Our Lady of the Lake, the Championship Health Partner of LSU Athletics. But Our Lady of the Lake is part of the Franciscan Missionaries of Our Lady Health System. It's a multi-state health system with hospitals and clinics all over Louisiana and Mississippi. They just recently opened Our Lady of Lourdes Stadium at UL Lafayette in Lafayette there with Cajuns. And they are committing, FMOL is committing more than $250 million into facility upgrades, like upgrading the emergency room at the Our Lady of the Lake Regional Medical Center in Baton Rouge, St. Elizabeth. So many different ways that they're continuing to invest in improving health care for all of our communities. It's Our Lady of the Lake. Our Lady of the Lake and LSU. Together, we roar.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit LouisianaPropane.com.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Sunshine,
We know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. This, it's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunnyquip.com.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
River Parish Contractors has immediate openings for structural steel shop fabricators. Call or text Big Jake today at 318-547-1000 or go to rpcontractors.com and click on employment. River Parish Contractors. Let's get building.
Tiger Country is 100.7 The Tiger. In the car on 100.7 FM or on the 100.7 The Tiger app. 90s country and beyond. 100.7 The Tiger.